Welcome to the Stretch Run, another episode. It's Friday. The weekend is near. I'm your host, Justin Sampson. Have my co-host here, Oldy. We're happy to be back. Another edition here. I'm sitting in sunny, but it's cold Seattle. I know it's snowing all over the country. We got Golden Gate and Gulfstream Park. Gulfstream first. We'll cover some Del Mar and lots of Saturday stakes racing. How we doing, brother? How are you?
Better today. As you know, I was knocked out for like 2 or 3 days this week, sick. So luckily no COVID, but I'd say my voice is at about 75%. So bear with me if you have me on mute or you see me coughing, that's what's going on.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're doing better. And then for anybody who just joined my Twitter, I'm giving away 10% of a pick five, and I'm playing a bigger ticket today. So, I'm, and if it hits, it'll pay gigantic. So, check my Twitter. It's pinned on my Twitter. Username's right there. All you have to do is retweet and follow Oldy, myself, EquinEdge. You'll be entered. We'll draw that in, I don't know, 15 minutes or so. Yeah. All right, let's jump in. Why don't you, I am like literally spread to all here because I jumped back around. So that is my ticket there. I'm singling the long shot in leg 3, which is a price. But why don't you tell me about your ticket here? You went too deep with the 1 and 8.
Yeah, I'm hoping to escape that first leg only using the two obvious horses because it lets me spread elsewhere. I also thought the 1 and the 8 were just the best horses in this race. I did not like the 5, who's the Scotty first pick and who's getting bet like crazy right now. So, call me crazy, call me wrong, call me not a fan of the Murat family, even if the trainer's 67%. That's probably 2 out of 3 would be my guess.
Yeah.
And, so this leg, I didn't really want to go deep because I wanted to go deep elsewhere. I thought the last leg was the all leg for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I mean, so I jumped around here a lot, man. I mean, I mean, the 1 could win. I mean, you're going to get a price here on the 1 too. So I do like that. I mean, I think using EquinEdge, I hope the 1 wins for both of us, to be honest. But I just didn't know. I mean, top win, second EquinEdge pick, dropping, big win percent increase, and going to be, on the lead. I think that this is a cheap claimer. I don't know. I just came to the point. I'm like, there are so many different ways to go in this race that I continually kept looking at horses, and I'm like, I'm just spreading. But I like that you went slam. Those were my top 2 horses, probably the 1 and 8. I would say so. It makes sense.
And top second Scotty pick or second E pick and top win percentage is like a 40% win combination. So, if I'm getting 4 and it's at 40% in actual win as well, if I'm getting 40% there and I'm getting, pretty much another 20% on the 8, I'll take that and take my chances.
Yeah, Perez 33%. I mean, this horse is taking no money. Is cutting back. Gonna be sitting probably off the lead, off the speed. Probably could get the lead, but I would guess that the EquinEdge long shot's gonna send. Yeah. That was my only concern, really, is the 3 gonna press the 1? How is Perez gonna sit? But it's gonna be a fun race to watch for sure.
Definitely.
All right, leg 2. You looks like you were 5 deep. Tell me about where you landed here.
All right, so I took the 8 and the 4. The 8 top E pick, top win percentage, as well top GSR. That's like almost a 48% combo, according to my data. And so I could have singled there. I didn't feel like this was a single. It's also top E morning line, by the way. I didn't feel like this was a single because this is a maiden race and because of the presence of the Pletcher horse, the 7, was a
Yeah.
Pletcher second time starter, and he's like 28% with
Yeah.
second time starters. You can't not ignore that. So if I'm going with a horse that's a longer shot, I also sort of like the 6, who's a huge shot, moving up in class here, but ran really well on the synthetic, which is part of the question here for all these horses. And I know I'm going to get a decent run out of the 6. So that was my, if everything goes haywire, this could happen play at 20-1. And, the 4 second pick, not second win percentage, but um, can run decently, hasn't passed a lot of horses. That would be my only question. If he doesn't get the lead, will he pass anybody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then the 3 gets Vasquez, good works, um, dropping in class. Or dropping in SOR. I think this horse is going to run. I think it wants to go longer, but GSR doesn't indicate that. We'll see. But I think this horse has a good shot here.
Yeah, that Vasquez was the one that the 3 was the one horse that scared me. I don't have the 3, but I have the 2 and then the 6, 7, 8. So I thought the 8 would be tough here, Jan's girl, but also was a little bit concerned, but his top win, right? EquinEdge Morning Line likes her. Jaramillo jumps back aboard, which, oops, he hasn't ridden. Morelos has been riding, so you get an upgrade to Jaramillo and big win percent increase. Gets back to synthetic, but has struggled, but has had lots of trouble. But see, I don't like. Oh, so rank, bump start, slow, steadied,
Yep.
bump. So it's gonna happen again. She could win for fun, right? Or the same thing could happen. So it'll be interesting there. I'm with you on Fletcher Zayas. I think this horse could win. And same thing with EquinEdge Longshot, has been facing easier, but just missing basically. So SOR definitely lower, but this horse is
Yeah.
lightly raced and for sure could improve here with Edgar Prado. I added the 2 also, was mine. And I do, the 3 scares me a little bit, but I don't love these horses that are going to be close to the pace. And the 3 and the 4, which is why I tossed both of them. But the 2 is getting back to synthetic, which necessarily GSR doesn't love, but raced well here back in the summertime. So I thought was a little bit of interesting a little bit as a price is 4%, but like as a complete bomber, I thought could potentially show up here. So let's go to leg 3 and walk me. You're too deep in the 2 and 7. I'm single to a completely different horse, but tell me how you landed here.
So I almost singled the 2 here. I was very close to singling the 2. The 2 is beaten significantly better than this
Yes.
group on dirt. Um, the distance is my only question. That's why I did not single here. But I believe, the 2 is your second win percentage, your top E pick. GSR is not great, but I think that this is the best horse in this race. And if it can get the distance, this horse will win this
Yeah.
race.
Yeah.
E Morning Line loves the horse too. I just feel like this horse it has the ability to be better than its best race is better than everybody else's in this race.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the 7, also high SOR, top win percentage, second E pick, which I mentioned is like a 48% win combo, and these 2 together are like a 60 something percent win combo. First off the claim, gets the big win percentage jump. I wonder whether this horse will pass other horses, but he might just sit right off the 2 and press. He might sit right off the lead and press and just go by in the stretch and be gone. And I know there's a high win percentage on the 1. I did not like the 1 off the claim moving up in class, even though he gets Vasquez. Walder has not had a good year. He was a 20+% trainer going into this year. And this horse to me looks like He's the type of horse that gets close to the lead coming into the stretch and then fades.
Yeah. 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 So, so I'm singling the 3. It was either going to be single, the 2 or the 3. And, I'm like, okay, what's the plan here? I think the 4 and 6 are 100% stopping. I worry a little bit about the 7. You talked a little bit about Hercules, his second EquinEdge pick, but one last out in a 58 and just sat off the speed. But when you look back here, I mean, to your point, this horse just doesn't pass a lot of horses. So, gets Edgar Perez. I just didn't really know what to do here, and I said, well, okay, you definitely got to win here as a 4-year-old. You're definitely your first win in a long time, almost a year probably. I can't see back, and I didn't grab the PP. So, I mean, maybe this horse is back in form and wins. I mean, for sure. The other thing about it is, has been competing in state bred and then won there in open company. I'm like, that's interesting, but this is a state bred allowance. So I think 4 and 6 are 100% stopping. 7, okay. I think it's going to be 2 or 3, like in my mind. So the 2 totally could see this horse winning, coming out of a 64 SOR, one last out, did not run well way back here at basically the same level. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, was kind of running back, before the summer, 9%, but has a big increase in win percent. Sonny gets back aboard, who won here, and then didn't run here. So my method, I'm like, the horse isn't going to run today. That was my method, and and then when I went to the 3, it was the EquinEdge long shot. This horse has been in versus way tougher. So they thought a lot about him and is a 3-year-old, right? So, didn't run, and then ran nicely here. So comes back, right? About 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks off, low win percent, but I liked the EquinEdge angle here. And again, I 100% see this either being the 2 or 3. That was like how, I think the horse is going to stop up front. I think the 7 might sit too close. Going to be a lot of speed here on the dirt. I was looking at the beginning races. Yeah, Scott, the 3 is 15-1, although EquinEdge morning line is 7-1. But you'll learn from me. I mean, this is how I play, man. I mean, if I break down a race and I don't like the speed and I don't like the other horses and I start getting down to 2 or 3 horses, I will figure out what's the decision that's going to be between those. And that becomes my single of whether that horse is 15-1 or 30-1, or it's even money.
You're also getting 10 pounds there too.
Yeah. So you're getting my last point of they do put the apprentice on in Torres. I mean, he is 9%. So I don't know this trainer. I think this horse is insanely sneaky. Do I put that horse on top if it's not the EquinEdge long shot? I don't know. Maybe not. But it completely for me. Yeah, Scott. I mean, if this ticket hits, I mean, the ticket still has to hit, and I think I'm still at risk in like 2 and 4. I think this is an insanely tough sequence. I think this thing could pay massive. But let's jump to the next leg. We got 8 minutes. They're in the paddock. You are too deep here in the 5 and 8. I'm totally
looking. I'm 1 and 5 there.
Oh, you're 1 and 5?
Yes.
Okay. Let me.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you caught that. Okay, there we go. You're 1 and 5. I'm sure we're on the 5 the same way, but tell me about the 5 and then about the 1.
I mean, for the 5, the only reason I'm not singling it, and thanks to Chris Walsh, who I kind of talked through this on, and he actually watched some of the video as well. I have concerns about the 5 getting the distance. So if you drill into the 5, great 7 furlong horse. At 8 furlongs, tired a little bit. One of the things I think that's interesting here, though, is the 5 does not, even though he's top pace number, he does not need the lead. This horse is tactical and can sit. I'm hoping actually for the distance that the horse lets the 1 go, because the 1 hasn't run as well at the distance or on the lead as he does off the lead. So if he lets the 1 go and sits, the 5 might be the one to pounce instead of the 1. I really thought this was a 2-horse race, though. The 8 could be running late, but the 8 just never gets there. And I don't think there's enough speed where these 2 horses will run each other off. I think both of them are capable of sitting, so whoever gets the lead, the other one's gonna sit.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes who goes with the horse that gets the lead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have the same comment on the 8, struggling to win, does get a win percent increase, does get Miguel Vasquez back, who almost got this horse a win last out. So, maybe there's potential there. I'm with you on the 5 though, 100%. I mean, this horse easily could wire the field. I think you could single here on the 5 if you wanted. And, in a situation with my ticket, if you wanted to, for me, I'd just add the 2 here and I would single the 5 here. But I think that the 8 could win, maybe. I thought the 2 was just super interesting. I'm very confused why Edgar Zayas is riding here.
Yeah.
But I mean, is 0 for 1 for this trainer. Not that, I mean, he's not jumping off another horse, but it is a starter optional claim here, right? And, this is just a 7-year-old that when you look here has been racing versus tougher, right? Starter optional claims as well, but come back tougher. So the thing about the 2 horses this horse only has 1 win in 17 tries. But I think this is an insanely tough race. If the 5 doesn't wire, I really think a lot of horses could win here. I think the 8 can win, the 2 can win, the 1 can win. I mean, the 3 could probably win, to be honest. But I think that the 3 and the 7 have struggled at this level, where the 2 is actually getting a slight drop in class. I love that Zayas gets aboard. It was kind of my angle here with adding with the 5. So we're both spread in the last. You were all, or
all but
nearly
1.
all, right? All but 1. Anything to talk through here?
I mean, this race looks pretty wide open to me. Let me pull that up real fast here. Hold on. It looks pretty wide open to me. There was the 3 being 8 to 5 on the morning line and 8 to 5 on the morning line. I didn't love the 3. I thought the 2 has a decent chance at 20% win percentage. Is a turf horse, but GSR indicates should like the synthetic as well. So it's not one of those that the system's not picking up the GSR change.
Horse is 20%, man.
Yeah.
This, 2 for 2 at the distance and surface too, right? I mean,
And
this horse is so sneaky. I mean, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, class-wise too, really sneaky there. The 4, the second choice, I think he's a little class compromised on the synthetic. His best wins against a 48. Could he win? Yes. The morning line likes him at 6 to 1 versus 15 to 1 morning line. Hard to pass up in a last leg type situation, but not a horse that I think is the likely winner there. The 6 hasn't really run well on synthetic, but gets Gonzalez. And, the 5 should be right about classy enough as well, stretching out, and I think wants the distance change. So I think the 5's really interesting there. And the 7's beaten a group just as good as this 2 back, or 3 back, I'm sorry. So there's no reason to think that the 7 at 20 to 1, which is a huge morning line, can't run here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I think the 3, the 3 is Safi Zayas. I mean, this horse was over at Churchill, comes back, definitely could run. I think the 2 is so sneaky, man. I mean, 0% trainer. All these horses have been claimed or moved trainers. I think most have been claimed.
Yeah.
Maybe some have just been trainer switches, but there's so much going on in this race. I think this thing's wide open. I really do. So you're 1 through 8. I'm 2 through 7. It's gonna be a fun sequence though, man. I'm excited to watch it. So we have 2 minutes. Why don't you I'm gonna give away. Let me do this real quick because I'm gonna give 10% away to 3 people on this. But anything else you want to add?
No, I just think it's an interesting sequence. So I think it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, I would agree. Looks like we got 14 entries. All right.
All right.
Oh, why does it say 1 winner? Hold on, I got to go back.
Yeah, that happened last time. I think it says that every time.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. We'll see if anybody gets locked out again like last time.
I got on Jay about the fact that he.
All right, James, Savage Knot, and SlickRod.eth. James has been a follower, so I love that. Let me post this out real quick. Oldy, I'm gonna throw that there if you'll. Actually, I gotta go like this. So let me know when we're getting close to post. I'm gonna post this ticket out on Twitter and the winners real quick.
Yeah, we're getting a little Gulfstream post drag here anyway, so.
Well, which was good. Last week, they were kind of like jumping over all Del Mar, and I noticed with the post times they were better this week. But then if we get post drag, that's not going to work.
We'll see what happens, definitely.
Yeah, congrats, James. That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Looks like Brad likes the 2, 3, 5 daily double, race 7 to race 8. And Chris is asking, how do you account for tracks that are not on fire when structuring your ticket? Chris, that's a difficult question, but, whether the track was on fire yesterday, I don't think affects whether it's going to be on fire today. I've seen a top Scotty pick win 6 races in a row at Gulfstream, and the next day, the percentages are going to balance out. If something wins at 48%, something's going to win at 48%, so it's going to go hot and cold and eventually, and will average out. So I don't put too much into what happened yesterday or the day before.
Thanks, Mike. All right, let me get us back. Sorry, I left you on the wrong screen. All right,
no problem.
We're at post. There's the one. The one that ended up taking all the money is the favorite.
Feel a little better that the 5 didn't go off at like 1 to 2.
Get the blow this afternoon's 5th race. Ensign Parker in now 61.
The one is that's interesting. It's so crazy. You see that with like a win percent like that, and the public got to it.
Along with Exalted Charm.
I'm all. You're too deep. 1-8.
Oriental Park now. Who's up?
All right, showtime.
Also, Lee Ann's a warrior. Just the 3 to the outside.
Man, I wish I was in Florida right now. That looks very nice and warm.
North Caucasus is up in the final to the outside. The long shot Frolic man to complete the line. The breath post. And they are off. Lee Ann's warrior.
He's trying to push that one so hard.
Yeah, I'm not happy with this.
Parker
But I think he needs the lead.
Rails have across the back stretch. And up top,
He's coming
Yeah,
over
he's-
there. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Exalted Charm is out racing in second. It's 5. We're back to Leanne's Warrior. They've been third. North Caucasus was outside fourth. Frolic Man's caught 3 wide is 61. Moves on through that at the inside. 2 in front of Leanne's Warrior. Cool Star is next. Is to make the way across.
Just from 22 and 1. I'll be curious here if they can
Band
catch him or if
follows
he's
as they move
he or
around the
she's
turn. Ensign
gone.
Parker at 7-5 is it kicked out to a 6-link lead.
I don't think
Exalted Charm.
the
I don't
eight
like it.
the eight just broke
It's
down.
being- Yeah, I don't like this. I think I'm out.
I don't know. The one he still has horse, man.
No.
Oh, here comes the 2, big time, huh? He's
Charm third. Leanne's Warrior trying to hang in for a slice fourth. Ensign Parker still there close to home.
Come on, wire.
Exalted Charm up at the outside.
Not gonna happen.
Across. Ensign Parker needs a line. 61 lunging late.
2.
61 up here.
Ugh,
I mean-
Ensign Parker, you let me down.
Exalted Charm or Ensign Parker.
Good start to your ticket, though.
yeah. I mean, who was that? That
It was
was
a 2.
so. I has run well at this surface and distance. I don't know if we talked too much because I was so spread, but and then the 3 that EquinEdge long shot, man, at 26 to 1.
But look, you got 13 to 1 on the 2.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, but that was interesting. That's a bummer. It looked like the 8 broke down there.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a bummer to see. Did it come 2-3 or did the 1 get second? No, it did come 2-3.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
That's going to be an exacta.
That's a bomber exacta. Wow.
Chris did call that one. I
The
remember that
2-3?
in the chat. No, he called
Oh.
the 2 in the first leg.
Yeah, very nice.
If you scroll
Chris.
up, it's up there too.
Yeah, well done. It's cold in Florida, Chris. I mean, that was when we go back and look there, and then we're gonna jump to, we're gonna have a little bit of time until leg 2. So we're gonna talk Gulfstream Park. I think both those races, are 2-year-old stakes races tomorrow, if I remember right. Juveniles, yeah. We'll talk some juvenile stakes tomorrow at Gulfstream before we jump back to race 2. But well done, Chris. I mean, you look there, has run really well at 6 furlongs on the dirt, by far outside of the 9, who is run insanely well as well. But, 7 times in the money out of 12 tries, 1 in a 46, and then cuts back from a 50 who ran 4th. I mean, that's where I just thought this race was insanely tough, man.
And I was trying to escape using 2 horses there.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. And well done, Chris. Good call, man. That's awesome. I love to see that.
Hope you played that pick 5 you showed me earlier, Chris.
I think, Mike, I mean, we were just talking through it there. I mean, look, this horse has been racing really well at slightly, probably this same. Yeah, it's been racing in 6,000 claimers. Has a win, 2 back in a 46. But look at, third, fourth. In my, I thought that the pace really could die here, and ultimately did. I don't think the 8 was going to get there anyways, but these horses didn't really run that maybe were going to be close or there. And the 2, the 3 actually hung on, which is pretty incredible. Which really it's crazy how good the system is, though. Calls that as the long shot, right? And the horse nearly wins, but the 2, good at the level SOR as well as surface distance, would be my.
I thought the 8 would be the one to get there if there was a pace breakdown, but I didn't account for the horse breakdown portion of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, tomorrow, okay, we're gonna jump over to race number 7. So Gulfstream Park tomorrow, 2 juvenile races. The first one for the fillies. It's a state bred, non-graded stakes for 60,000. juveniles going 2 churns on the synthetic. I thought both these races are awesome. I'm really glad that we're covering them. What did you see here?
You want to know what I liked first, or you want me to break down the race first? So that's the question.
Hey, like I think I like prices in this race, so I'll be
So
curious.
do I.
Yeah.
So I like the 4. The 4 is
Yep.
my top pick at 6-1.
Yep.
Huge GSR jump, top SOR. Didn't run poorly on the dirt against better. I think this horse is really, really dangerous
And
in the
wants
spot.
synthetic. I
Yep,
mean, the horse is
really.
getting a GSR jump, wants the synthetic. And to your point, ran great here last out. Second time starter. I mean, won here as a favorite with Chantel, and she comes back and rides. Like, I'm totally with you on esoteric.
So that's my top pick. I think the one who's the top win percentage wants nothing to do with routing.
And remember, everybody, going 2 churns on synthetic on the lead is not fun. I will tell you, like, horses don't win, but about 8%. And we can try to catch that stat from Gulfstream, the in-house feed. But I'm 100% with you, man. We're seeing this race exactly the same.
Yeah, that doesn't want anything to do with 2 turns. I have the 5 tied for second win percentage. Also, the E long shot, top GSR, last maiden winner, no speed. I think needs a setup. I'm not sure he gets there. If he breaks 7th in this race, I think he's done.
Yeah, that was in the 11 post though there, and didn't want to load. Obviously, was just having a ton of trouble right prior to the race, I would guess.
But interestingly, no gate work since. So that and you'll hear that in my Delmar breakdown too, for Saturday. I don't understand why these trainers aren't doing gate works on their horses that are struggling to break, especially on these 2-year-olds.
I wonder what happened here. I'll have to actually. The video is not going to have it could have the load sequence there a little bit, but I just thought this was. I'm 4 and 5 in this race, so I think we're seeing somewhat similar. But I mean, to win from the 11 post, didn't want to load, was having a ton of trouble. Comes back and still wins. Like, that's a pretty incredible win, right? I mean,
yeah.
And I am surprised that the 4 is just nowhere to be found in win percent or EquinEdge picks, and only 5%. But I'm with you.
And then the 6 tied for second win percentage, top EE pick, last out winner on grass, does not want synthetic, it appears.
Yeah, 20 point GSR job.
Does have the morning line angle there, though, 4-1 to 6-5, but I don't think this horse wants anything to do with synthetic.
Yeah, and I think the question here is just going to become, and I use those same angles. It's just like, how good is this field, and versus can this horse even run on the synthetic? I mean, it is such a lower number. It's just pretty crazy. I mean, so I think it will be interesting for Navy Goat if she can probably run a great race. It'll just be, can she actually win, I think, is the question.
And what's interesting is I believe the morning line favorite's the 7.
Who hasn't even broke her maiden, man?
I'm sorry, second choice.
Oh, yeah.
Second choice, but yes.
It's not even won a race yet.
Right, and is the type of horse that appears to get to the lead and then get caught. I hate using horses like that, so I'm against the 7 here.
Yeah, you'll see I have little negatives. That tells me I like negative. My stars are obviously how. Like, we see the race exactly the same, man. So it's a little bit like Woodbine was last week, man. I mean, we saw some of those races the same. I'll be curious. Wow, 230 to 1 for that exacta. Yeah, but Chris, I don't know if I'd say it's cheap race, but I get it. The snake venom for the 7. Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe. Ben Cohen owns part of this horse, so very interesting. But I'm all 4-5, man. Those are my top 2 picks, and I think the speed here is going to completely stop, sets it up for the closers, which are common on the synthetic, and I don't know. I guess maybe the 6 or 7 could win or get second as well, but it's going to be a good race. All right. Race number 10. Gulfstream still stakes race tomorrow. Another state bred, this time for the males, juvenile, 60,000, 2-year-olds. This one was kind of a funky race too. I'm curious if we'll land in the same spot or if we'll disagree a little bit. But tell me about where you landed here. Oh, you're on mute.
I think I landed on the 8. I was coughing and I put myself on mute there. Top E pick, top win percentage, top SOR, tied for top E morning line. Horse wants synthetic. My only question is whether he wants the distance here. If he wants the distance, I think this horse could win by open lengths here.
Super blessing.
I know picking chalk is not the fun thing to do, but the 3 is your morning line favorite. Second win percentage, E morning line hates it. I think the 3 needs the lead. I don't know that he's going to get it. It looks like the 2 might be faster. The 1's just about as fast. I just don't see how the 3 wins here.
I don't think the 2 or the 3 can win. I don't understand how this horse is 2 to 1.
2 to 1.
Like blows my mind.
And same thing with the 1. Ran against better last time out on dirt. The comments are terrible on this horse, though. Look at the 2 races on synthetic. Right in front of you. Fail to menace and no menace are your terms there. And, you hate to see that against easier when a horse is moving against stakes company.
Yeah, win percentage increases, which I mean is interesting. I didn't really understand that. I mean, it is the EquinEdge long shot.
Yeah.
It's like, why is dangerous ride the long shot? Could have picked the 7, could have picked the 4, the 5 or the 6. The 5 was the EquinEdge long shot though at last night, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think the 6 is really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I like the 5, 6, 7, and 8. To be honest with you, I don't even like any of the other horses really. The 4 is maybe, but I don't like the 1, 2, or 3. I don't like any of these horses that are going to be anywhere near the lead. Really. But tell me about the 6.
So the 6, last out winner against weaker, gets Paco, which is interesting here. That as I'm losing my voice here, I don't see Paco riding coming in and riding here without having a live mount. And, first time with this trainer, can rate, won easily. So my note here says, last out easy winner against 16K maiden claimers, big step up in class, 15% win, good GSR, E morning line angle of 6 to 1 versus 12 to 1 morning line. Could be a factor in a race where none of these horses are any good, but may need pace to run into.
Yeah.
And I disagree with you on the 5 a little bit. My concern is on the 5 that the 5's a terrible breaker. So if the 5 breaks like he did in that 76 on dirt, it's going to be a tough call. And he just doesn't seem to quite get there.
The thing, I mean, I am with you. Like, I mean, I get it, but this horse just seems to be at a different level, to be honest. I mean, has been racing versus, Opa Company and much, much tougher. But you are right. I mean, isn't getting there and then just completely in this last race, right? Like, my opinion here is this horse was way too close to the lead. This horse needs to sit back. Jason Wise needs to like just go back, give this horse a good ride. I mean, this is pretty incredible here, though, that this horse still ran second. The only thing I would say is I don't know if maybe there was a bit of a pace meltdown. I didn't even look that much into it, but I mean, that's pretty insane to break awful like that. I think to your point, I mean, it does not break well. So, but again, I don't want anything to do with anybody near the lead. This horse, you know, Tigre is for sure going to hit the board, but you know, I am with you that not a great breaker, but it will be interesting to see if he can break better.
And one other thing to look at is if you look at GSR Plus, it looks like Tigre wants dirt.
Yeah, although I mean it's not awful, right?
Not awful, but go look at the dirt tab.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense, right? Higher 70s, going 2 churns. You know, here, you know, high 70s, but then you know 70. So it is a slight decrease.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. You know, which I do think the 8 could be tough, right? Because you know for sure this horse should run well on synthetic as well. You know, they're going 1 mile and 70, so it's right here about a 63. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody here that's just all. I mean, it's still the top GSR though on the 5, right? So I think will be interesting. We still got 10 minutes still.
We talked too fast.
No, that it's good, man. I mean, we get through it a little bit quick. I think that the 7 is the only horse you and I didn't talk about. You know, was a 7% win, a little bit of a morning line edge. You do have Miguel Vasquez who hits at 24%. You know, one back here, and then that's that same dirt stakes race, probably. Yeah. No, that was 2 churns. So this was in a 7 furlong, you know, on the dirt. This horse does not look to want synthetic, right? I mean, this is what I would say a horse really wants dirt over synthetic. Yeah. You know, but was in really tough here in a 72. You know, it was only a 6-horse field, but you know, it definitely won nicely here in a 54. I think the problem with the 7 is the GSR drop. I mean, it's dropping 12 points. The win percent's going down. For me here, you know, I'm 5, 6, 8, and probably just 5, 8. I mean, the 6 is that's tough. I mean, this was a 40, but this horse romped and then this horse did get claimed though.
Yeah.
Which nice claim by, the trainer claimed it himself. Wow. Interesting.
And then also gets Paco.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Super Blessing looks tough, though. I mean, definitely the horse that's ran the best in tougher company, I would say the 5 and 8. So I think the race goes through the 2 of them. If the 5 breaks, I mean, could be really tough. I would have, I mean, Juarez rides again, has been riding. I mean, I don't know this trainer, but, you know, it would be nice to get I mean, maybe he gets the jock out of the gate better. We'll have to see.
Well, and you know, we always have to ask the question: if Paco doesn't win, who does he punch?
Yeah,
Irad's not there, so he's gonna have to find somebody else to fight with.
Yeah, and Kent said, "Look, you know, 6-day turnaround on the 5. My guess, I mean, I guess you'd have to watch this race. Is they probably? I mean, this horse was the favorite.
I wonder if that horse gets scratched.
It could, and in addition, I mean, they may have. I mean, the horse finished 7th out of 8 horses. I mean, maybe this just ended up being a workout. To be honest, would be my perspective. Kent is that they just gave this horse a little bit of a workout for whatever happened. It's actually, it's a good point. I need to go back. And watch Last Out.
I wonder if it was cross-entered.
It could have been. I mean, for sure. But the way that it ran, that just tells me that they are bringing the horse back and like they use that as a work, basically. I mean, something must have happened. I don't know, Scott, if there's synthetic at Palm Meadows.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
it looks like, yeah, I bet that there's not, because the synthetic's new at Gulfstream, like, I mean, I guess maybe for a training track they might have it, but yeah, I mean, but keep in mind, Chris, I think this is state bred, right? So I mean, they're giving state bred juveniles a spot at a stakes race. But yes, of course. I mean, Kentucky's gonna dirt and grass. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you could see in the works there was a turf course. So all right, how much time we got? Oh, this is where they always do some good statistics on the Interfeed show at Gulfstream Park, and they do talk a lot about the synthetic track and how things have been going from 2 turns and 1 turn. So I was trying to, I was actually able to screenshot the sprint races last time, but I haven't grabbed the 2 turn races yet. But 8's big time favorite here. We talked a lot about the 8 horse. Let me jump back real quick. 7, 6. Yeah, Jan's girl. I mean, 32% to win. Jaramillo gets back board. I mean, for sure has a player here.
Just seems like he stops though.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, 0 for 7. I mean, today could be the day to punch the win picture, I guess. You know, but Jaramillo rode back here. I mean, this horse came from way back. I mean, steadied early, step slow. Oh, yeah, we talk. I mean, rank, bumped, step slow, steady, bump. Here, you know, first time out, didn't run bad. So, I mean, if she actually doesn't have trouble, I think she can win. But again, I mean, I'm 2, 6, 7, 8 here, like 3 prices along with her, but I would not be surprised to see her win today. 3 to 5 that's such a short price though. Like not,
and you're getting great value on the 3 and 4 right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they're taking no money, you know, and 19 and 11% to win, especially the 4. I mean, that horse is taking just absolutely zero money. So, yeah, I guess the 3 too. I mean, the 3 is 10 to 1. That's pretty crazy.
By the way, Gino and Tyler Lockett got me home with a victory last week.
Oh man, they that was, I went to breakfast on. Can you see the race? Like when I
Not right now, it's dark.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you see it now? Yeah.
I don't. I'll have to when I'm basically switching, like it's screen sharing, and then I switch over to the stream for everybody else, and I can see you. I'm just using one monitor today because my second monitor, my iPad, was being a pain when I was trying to sidecar wirelessly, but it gets rid of the race, so it's good to know. Yeah. But as a bummer, they lost. I mean, it really was like I went to breakfast, and that game was in Germany, right at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, and watched the game. But yeah, that was a bummer. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'll take my. Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll take the win. Regardless, it was just enough points, and the guy I was playing had a couple guys break down on him too, so it ended up working out for me.
I drafted Christian Watson from Green Bay.
Nice.
And he's done nothing, but obviously I did not play him last week, but I did play him this week. So he had another great game last night with 2 touchdowns. So and it's a dynasty league, so you can keep people up to 3 people after the anything that is anything below the first 3 rounds is you keep your first round pick, but then anything after that you keep in that round, and you can keep them as long as you want. So it's good. You got to find people that, rookies late, and it's a 14-team league. So, you got to be on the hunt for guys like that. I hope he keeps playing well. I was glad to see him play well again last night, and there was a lot of talk that he would continually, hopefully, get targets from Rodgers. But Green Bay does not look good.
So mine's a 22, not a 22, 20 player roster, but it's a 10-team PPR league. And we're also a keeper league, but you can't keep anybody who was drafted in the first 3 rounds. And you get penalized 3 rounds ahead of where the player was taken the year before. So eventually you have to give up that player if that player continues to play well. And you have to determine value, and you can only keep 3 players. So there's always players cycling in and out of the pool. Brad Anderson plays with me in that league. I beat him a couple weeks ago for bragging rights. He had a great season last year, though. But I love fantasy football. I play it. I'm playing in 2 leagues this year. In first place in one, and third place in the other.
I love it.
Just a bit at only one.
Cindy, good to see you. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I'm live here. It's a bummer that we are both not live, but I still even though I'm 4 deep in this race, man, I'm 2, 6, 7, 8. Had the bomber in the first race, obviously, but I don't. I mean, they could win by 5, 6, 7 lengths, or any of these other horses could win if that horse has trouble again. I mean, that horse has found trouble every single time, so we'll have to see.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I think the 8's vulnerable here.
Should come back here in a second. I see it dropped off. I was trying to fix it real quick. All right,
No
so they're at the post.
And I will tell you that scratches are in at Golden Gate.
Oh, good. I need to then. So we'll
it's
cover
only the 5 in race 1 that you have to worry about.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna after this race, we'll jump to Del Mar though and cover the early pick 5 at Del Mar. We'll have about 20-ish minutes to do that. I actually just loved that sequence at Del Mar. The fields aren't very big. From when I was there in the summer, some of those fields were just incredible. But some of the fields haven't looked
horses begin to step onto the
big right now, but I think it's a great sequence.
Little time remains for this afternoon's 6th race. Make this your final boarding call here for the lead.
Well, you also have people waiting for fairgrounds, people waiting for the Gulfstream Championship meet.
Yeah.
And horses being put away for the winner too.
No, for sure. Well, they're moving over to the Tapeta. I was a little worried about the 3 and 4 here, but I also went to horses coming off the speed here, going 2 turns on the synthetic. I'll be curious to see what type of fractions they set out front. I think you mentioned Vasquez is on the 3. I thought was a little bit dangerous. The 3 and 4 are finally taking some money. They were taking absolutely no money, but you do, Ken. I mean, the only thing I thought about, we'll talk about this with the Del Mar card today, was I think the first leg is like wide open. I actually almost just singled a price horse in the first leg, but the second race I thought was interesting because you have the Baffords, and there's some Baffords. I think maybe even in other parts of the sequence. I can't fully remember, but I also thought that maybe they could, one of them I know I did not like at all. But I thought that this sequence today could have a potential, could pay well, was my kind of thought process. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could. I think it's hurt a little bit by the number of scratches in race 3.
Hey, I singled race 3, so I was like, this
But-
works good.
But you know,
So-
it affects the ability to spread money across a bunch of choices too. The money's not going to be spread as much.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, we're loading. I'm 2, 6, 7,
Time to get a
8.
vote for race 6.
Hoping to
is
get through.
overtime.
No
This
guarantee
is first
here.
in.
This is I think this is a tough race on the synthetic. I really do.
She'll be followed by double Cosmo Girl, also Martinis.
You know, I can see why somebody might love the 8. Yeah, I noticed that, Ken. There are.
A lot of drink related.
Rita Marga is next. Now reaching stride.
Just up on us a little bit.
Say again?
Steps up.
I think you're
Is it
freezing up
cutting
on
out?
us a little bit.
Okay.
And first will
Yeah,
be Curly
and your
Colleen.
audio is going in and out.
Okay.
And last in, the favorite Jan's Girl.
I'll see after this race if I can. I think I might know be wrong.
And they're off. Nice beginning there. Rita Marga steps out to sharply.
Wow,
Kills
8 super
Colby Todd.
keen, man.
Slide through it at the inside to come away. Close second. Guttish. Out just there, running with the top pair in third. The favorite Jan's Girl carried 3 wide. The opening turn, she's 4th. Double Cosmo Girl's in between mirrors at 5th. Curlin's Colleen's up on the outside. 6th.
I told you the
Martinez
3 would get an easy lead like this.
For the back marker that's reaching stride as they race around that opening turn. Rita Marga
25 and 1 though.
Quarter, just 25 and 1. Guttish there to the outside second. Jan's Girl still 3 wide. The 6-5 favorite, just a length and a half off the lead. Tis Colby Times tugged out at the inside 4th. Double Cosmo Girls moving in between mirrors. She's at 5th. That's Curlin's Colleen. Burr outside flanking in 6th. Martini Sabika still 7th as they move across the back stretch. And the back marker still reaching stride. And up top, it's still Rita Marga on the point to a half mile and 50 and 3. Guttish right there second, just a neck back. Jan's Girl's been third throughout. Tis Colby Time down at the inside 4th, just off the top trio. That's Curlin's Colleen running on to Burr outside. 3 in front of double Cosmo Girl. The back marker still Martini Zabika and reaching stride. They run around the far turn. Guttish trying to overpower Rita Marga. Jan's Girl looping up on the outside 3 wide, 3/4.
Nobody else
114
coming.
to 2. Guttish has taken over with a short
Maybe the
lead.
7's
Jan's
fire
Girl
here.
applying heavy pressure up 3 wide. Rita Marga is giving way down at the inside third. Tis
Wow.
That's the DQ. That's the DQ of DQs right there. If that's not a DQ, I don't know what is.
Outside, it's Guttish at mid-stretch here.
The
Guttish trying to
2's
send
flying
off
on the
favorite Jan's
rail.
Girl. Tis Colby Time runs on.
Yeah, the 8's got to
inside,
stay
they
up.
Oh.
from double Cosmo Girl, but it was Guttish to win. Jan's Girl held second. Double Cosmo Girl rushing up late.
Right? Doesn't that have to be a DQ?
I
don't know that the 8 was going by, but still, I think that's a DQ.
I mean the 4. I don't know how you don't DQ the horse there. Man, I was kind of rooting for the 2 there for a minute because if the 4 comes down, if the 2 gets second, the 8 has to come down. I mean, so I would hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna remove that.
Yeah, that's
I
my
would-
terrible ticket.
Can you hear me? Is it better?
It is okay
Okay.
right now, but it was intermittent, so we'll see.
Yeah. My guess is I probably need to restart, but we'll have to do that later. I don't know how the 4 doesn't come down there.
There's no objection or inquiry posted yet.
Yeah, I got to imagine it will come though. I mean, I would just I would the 4 definitely would have gotten taken down if the 2 wins. I think it will be interesting here with the 8 still placing second.
I hope for Chris's pick 5 and daily double that it stays up as the 4.
Yeah, I do not have the 4.
I know.
Scott, you think the 8 lost the footing, no foul? Interesting. The problem is the 4 came over, so
Yeah, I think we need to see a head-on that. But I can't believe there's no inquiry or objection.
Please, we do have a rider's objection.
Okay, here we go.
A rider's objection here. 8 against 4 concerning that stretched battle.
High stakes objection right here.
Yeah.
Rider of the 8, Misael Harbio, is lodged an objection claiming interference in the stretch from the 4 Guttish. Hold all tickets. Objection here in race 6.
I don't know how they didn't immediately have an inquiry on that, though. It was obvious. You could see it in, whether it's a DQ or not, you could see it in the stretch. It was obvious that it happened.
Yeah, the 4 took a lot of money there, Chris. So it's like it's not really. I mean, that obviously that's what, $17. So it's not like it's nothing, but for how much the 8 was a favorite, just in the race, I don't know why there's no inquiry. I mean, Scott might be right. I mean, maybe the horse did lose its footing and it had nothing to do, and the 4 didn't really come over. It definitely, I don't know how much it slowed the 8 down. I don't really remember. I do think, I mean, if the 2 ends up getting second, because then, yeah, I mean, you have to say, well, the 4 cost the 8 second place.
Here's the head on. Yeah, that's a DQ.
I don't know how they don't. I mean, the 8 was not, I don't think the 8 ever changed. Oh, did the 8 change leads?
I don't know that the 8 was ever going by the 4, but the 4 definitely came out and definitely affected the 8's momentum right there.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't DQ. I think to your point, the only way that they would, if they say, is that and I don't know how you could say this.
The objection does concern the stretch drive. The steward's taking a look.
You heard that. The objection is the stretch run. We should get that audio.
Yeah, right?
Objection in race 6.
That's pretty good. You think they're going to leave it? I mean, they might. I mean, the only way that I think they could leave it is they would have to justify that the 8 was never going to win, which I don't know how you can do that with how much momentum it looks like changed for the 8. That would be my only comment. I think automatically the 4 comes down if the 2 gets second, because the 8 can easily justify that the 4 costed a placing. So that's but the 4 came out. I mean, if you look at the
4 came out like 6 paths if you had the lines there.
Yeah. You think that the 8 comes in? I mean, the 8's running, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I understand why you would say. Yeah, Mike, the 8 probably never was, and that's what I mean. I think that will end up being the only justification of how the 4 does not get DQ'd.
Looks like no change.
The objection has been disallowed. The objection.
Wow.
Results going to stand as posted.
That's why.
You would think IRAD was riding with that decision.
Results going to stand.
Man, I'm bummed. I hope this single doesn't win. Yeah. Well,
boom to Chris Walsh and to whoever else had the 4 there.
Blues. I don't think it's not necessarily the margin of victory. It's just that the 8 didn't get cost a place. So I think that's why it made it fairly simple. I don't know. I still don't really understand it, but who knows? That's why I guess I'm not a steward.
After steward's review, they determined that the stretch battle did not cost the 8 Jan's girl placings. Results going to stand as is here. The objection has been disavowed. 48213. Returning cracks on your winner's presentation. This is number 4, Guttish.
Well, that's a bummer. I mean, I kind of kicked myself a little bit. I mean, this will be a shame because this ticket will pay absolutely gigantic. which I thought the 8 might lose. So should have got too tricky and left out the second EquinEdge pick. But is what it is. And I mean the DQ there. I mean they're basically saying the 8 wasn't going to win. So, again the 8 loses second place to the 2. They definitely would DQ the 4, and the 2 would have won. Would be my guess. And they had to place the 4 would have got placed third, and the 8 would have still been. They would have kept the 8 up a second. So, yeah, Cindy, that's what we kind of expected there. Well, cool. All right, we'll move on to Del Mar.
Well, and let's get Chris home on his pick 5 too. There, because he had those 2 legs.
Good luck. I'll be curious, Chris, to hear what you have. Good luck, man. Tough races ahead. I hope you hit it. So let's see. Race 1. I think mine was 180, maybe somewhere around there. All right. I'm going to move this down. This ticket's over here.
We ready?
We got Del Mar in 22 minutes. So we still have some time. Why don't you tell me? I'm singled in leg 3. You're singled in leg 2. Tell me about your 4 deep here. 1 3 1 3 4 7. 1 3 4
1 3 4 7.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Who'd you have on top?
So, as I'm attempting to have enough of a voice to finish this statement here, the 4 would win. I looked at this horse as a slow breaker, step slow, bit slow, no factor. Top win percentage, top E morning line, top E pick. Definitely has a chance here. I think definitely the question is, does it break well enough to be able to make up the distance that it's going to need to break up or make up, I mean. I also like the 7. I think similar, the 7 may need the lead here, needs to break well, didn't break well last time out, is a sprinter who's also run at distance and did not like the 8.5, but might like 8 here. And obviously Saratoga is a lot tougher than this race. The 3, which is your second choice, needs the lead in my estimation. So there could be a pace battle there. Being bat very heavily. So maybe people know something. Looks like there's a big pace advantage on the E pace number there as well. Is your second E choice. Interesting horse. Doug O'Neill, Mario Gutierrez, a solid combo there. And then lastly, the one who was kind of my bomber here, second time starter, I believe wants to go more of a route of distance, working well, ran well last time out, even though he broke a little slowly. I think this horse is dangerous here.
Yeah, I do agree with you. So I was all but 5, 6. I don't think either one of those horses have a shot, but I think the one for sure could improve. Is now stretching out. I think we'll be fine going 2 turns. I mean, it says one's longer, so I'm not worried about the sprint to route there. I thought that the 2 Equine, my basically thing here was like, you could single the 2 or the 3, the 3 from a pace or the 2 from an EquinEdge long shot. I personally didn't love the 4 enough to single. I mean, his top EquinEdge pick, is 0 for 3. I think this horse has Pratt. Yeah, for Peter Miller, second GSR. But, I mean, you're going to have the 3 on the easy lead here. What's to say that this horse is just going to get up? I mean, could happen. So for me, I was trying to single somebody here or try to spread in the first leg. But I'm with you. I think the 1 could improve. I think the 2, is going to be completely fine. Cathedral Light on turf. I mean, this is just not a nicely bred horse, but it should be fine. He should be fine going 2 turns for Hollendorfer. You have Vasquez riding. So, this is a state bred maiden special. So you can see here, I mean, this horse has been racing nicely. I think can improve, gets to the turf. I love seeing Ramon Vasquez riding. You have, a 6-1 morning line, but I thought this was a tough race. Like, I didn't love the 4. I can see why it's the favorite and everything. The win percent is going up. Yeah, I mean, I can see it, Mike. I mean, you're getting Pratt over Barrios, but I mean, this was a 44 here, was slow. Like, is this horse gonna break today? I mean, Flavian's obviously a massive jockey upgrade.
Well, Justin, Ken points out that the 4 is also getting blinkers.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that
that's
Miller,
good.
I must have said something about he likes the works with the blinkers on.
Who did?
Peter Miller,
Oh,
trainer on
yeah.
the 4.
I mean, the horse doesn't break, so it's good to see that. I mean, there's a lot of changes. You're adding Flavian Pratt and you're adding blinkers. So, I mean, this horse for sure can improve.
Yeah.
I mean, the EquinEdge has this horse at even money. So, I just didn't love singling there. And then, you have a pace angle with the 3, the 7, who knows, this horse was 5-2 on the morning line. Why? I don't know. You have Barrios riding there since Pratt's riding the 4. I don't know. I think this race is wide open. We'll see, though. I mean, the 4 could win, right? You get Pratt, so. Yeah, Chris, I mean, the 7 is, coming in from Aqueduct. I mean, I don't know if this, is this a private purchase? Something happened here, or they just shipped it. I didn't see if the owners changed, but I mean, I don't know. I think it's a tough race. I really do. All right. So you're singled in leg 2 to Bletchley Park, which is one of the Baffords. Johnny V's riding here. Tell me about the 4 horse.
So this was a little bit of a risk play. The question is always to Baffert or not to Baffert when Baffert has a horse in a race. But Baffert doesn't put Johnny V on horses that aren't live. And, this is a long time connection between the 2. Over the last, I think, 2 or 3 years, they're almost 50% together, even though it only shows us the last year. Works are I like the works better on the 4 than I do on the 2. And there's some start trouble and stuff like that in the PPs for the 4 that I don't see on the 2. And I didn't think a lot of the rest of this field. I thought this was a pretty weak field.
Yeah, so I think, sorry, I was on my ticket, but yeah, you singled the 4 there. Win percents are just kind of across the board, but I guess I don't disagree with you that it seems to be a weak field. I mean, I think some of these horses were paid a good chunk of change, but they just haven't really panned out. And like when I see the Baffords, I mean, both of these obviously are going to have great works. The 4 is coming off a 6+ month layoff, but I mean, was doing nothing really. So I think to your point, it's not a tough field, but it's like, I mean, this isn't your traditional, big favorite Baffert in my mind. I mean, the win percent say this thing is wide open. It does have the 4 on top, but I mean, back here, I mean, this horse just, stopped completely and stopped here. So, they put on a layoff, which is good. I mean, maybe this horse comes in fit. It's definitely, when you look at it from a pace perspective, it's going to be up there and maybe just goes gate to wire on the dirt. I think the 2, though, I mean, was interesting with the EquinEdge morning line, like the 2 a lot more. And the only thing I would say here is, you get a big win percent increase where the 4 is essentially still high. And this horse has burned a bunch of money. I guess not a bunch, but burned a little bit of money. And, the 2, it's just been running well. I mean, third out, I love that Vasquez still rides here, gets off the rail, for sure, I think can improve. Likely probably tries to rate. I'm guessing probably holds the 4, really honest, I would say. Which who knows? I mean, either one of these, could win, could improve, but I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody else win. The 3 has a massive win percent increase for Luis Mendez, who, I appreciate his training on younger horses, but here big percent win increase has 2 seconds. I mean, you can't really knock that at maiden special level at, a nice class level. So I didn't really know what to do here. Like, I think to your point, I mean, you could single, or I think you have to spread would be my kind of opinion as well. So,
Well, in my opinion, is probably the other horse I would consider would be that Peter Miller second time starter.
With Pratt, yeah. We didn't talk a lot about the 5, but was a favorite here, right? And ran third in a 6-horse field, was slow. I think his top GSR even. Yep. 5's top GSR. The win percent so small though. I guess not small, but it drops quite heavily from 13 to 12%, which I thought that was kind of weird. I mean, obviously the system's saying that this race seems wide open when you look at the win percents. All right,
Definitely.
Let's jump to leg 3. We have the next race.
Honest, entering that race, he was 5 for 4
at Gulfstream in 6 minutes. My no longer single, but was a single, is 12-1. So I'm gonna bet that horse to win for sure to try to recoup a little bit. But I singled here at Del Mar in race 3. State bred sprinting on the turf. I went to Joe Bravo on the 6 for coming off the speed here. When I looked at her, 6-year-old, she's run at Del Mar 7 times and not run well, not run great. I mean, hasn't won a lot of money, and for sure has won a lot more money on the dirt, I think was my biggest concern here. But for whatever reason, they keep this horse on the turf. I mean, you look at GSR Plus, it says both, but I don't really know why they've kept this horse on the turf. But I just think there's insane speed here in the 3 and the 5. The 3 is just, I just know, I think this horse will stop. It's going to be on the inside. The 5's going to be on the outside, just showing a ton of speed, I would guess, as well. This horse back here, was on the lead, easy lead here, stops in 54s, finally wins here in a 50. And then this was way too tough. So I'd say gets the right class. I just think they're going to be absolutely flying here. Like, I think they're going to go very fast. 3-year-old in the 3, 3-year-old in the 5. You look at the 1, another 3-year-old, right? And I'm like, hey, you have all these 3-year-olds that are going to try to show all this speed. JJ's riding the 1 last out with an easy lead. I mean, maybe this horse can rate. I guess maybe. I don't know. I just think they're going to fly out here. They've stopped before. So then I said, okay, well, Queen Molotov, has Velasquez riding. The morning line doesn't love. The scratches probably helped a little bit.
Yeah.
EquinEdge pick, but essentially here, this horse, I mean, won here in a 48, but now is having to step back up. I mean, this horse couldn't win on the synthetic. Now gets to turf. I mean, for sure could improve, and then the 2, I don't think I thought the 2 had the 2 likes the surface and distance. The problem with the 2 is though, right? It's only one time.
You can't rate.
Yeah, so I just think they're gonna fly. I think Bravo here, he rode back here in a 60 at Del Mar at 5 furlongs. and he gets back aboard, I think he's going to give the horse a great trip. It's a risky single, but I just don't love this field.
No, and I hear you. I don't think there's any horse there that I can say this horse can rate. The
Yeah.
six that effort that you're talking about on the six is the closest thing to successfully rating any of these horses has done. My concern is that I think the six could be suckered into the speed duel.
But I don't know
And
with Bravo.
Bravo's gonna
That would be
he's
my
gonna
only question. Is I would assume Jersey, like Joe's going to take the six back, but I mean, maybe. I mean, could happen.
and sometimes in these races that we think have a ton of speed, somebody just gets away. So
Yeah.
I used the 3 because I think the 3 is the speed of the speed and might just get away. I think he stops. In my personal opinion, I think the 7 might be able to rate out of these horses and is, my top thought in terms of class here. And the question is just, will these horses tire out enough that the 7 goes by him? But has been racing well, incredible against this level or slightly above.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, obviously I saw that race on the 6 and said I have to have the 6 here. And the
Yeah.
6 was at the time I put this ticket together, the 6 was the E long shot as well.
Yeah, I am with you too. I saw that. Like it switched to the 5, I think, like
Yeah.
just recently too, I think. If I'm remembering correctly. I mean, I feel like this morning, even when I put this together, the 6 was still the long shot.
Yeah, no, it definitely was this morning.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
the only thing
so
that concerns me on the 6 is the fact that Bravo and Palma are not a great combo.
yeah, I mean, he only hits at 9%. So I mean, I'm like, well, they're 8% together. Hits right there. I think mine is just like didn't like the field. I think to your point, maybe the speed holds here. I don't know. I mean, Joe gave this horse a great ride. I mean, and nearly wins here. I'm just hoping we see the same type of setup here as we did back in August. Second off, a short layoff. I think to your point, I just hope this horse doesn't get anywhere near the lead. Like, I don't want to be anywhere close like this. Would be my hope is that that Joe's able to take this horse back a little bit and sit a few lengths back, 4-ish plus lengths and be able to not get caught up in the speed duel or even maybe a little bit
Yeah.
more with how much speed might be here, so. All
Makes
right.
sense.
You were 1 through 5, I think, in the next leg.
Yep.
Who did you like best here?
That's a tough call. I mean, this was a wide open race. I think the 1 could wire this field. I think the 3 is your top win percentage, top Scotty. I keep saying top Scotty, top EE pick. Is huge drop in class. So the 3 might even be a single there.
Yeah, Big Shamrock.
That's a massive drop in class. And the 2s run well also against better than this, and is also a massive drop in class. You might be able to get away with just using those 2 horses there.
1 win and 43 tries, though.
Yes, exactly why. But, that's against better.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, 1 win and 41 tries, that's not a single for me, ever. And the 3 is 1 win and 6 tries and is lightly raced as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just my thoughts on what my top horses. The system added the 5 who was the last out winner and the 4 who was the last out winner.
Yeah.
And who's the long shot.
Yeah, I just, I did 2 things here. I thought that, I think the 1 will be really tough. I really do. Only 6 races, has a win, big drop in class here. They're putting this horse up. I don't know if it was in for a tag here, but something happened obviously after the grade 2. Probably
Yeah.
not the same horse. I think that they're just kind of putting this horse up for sale, and you know, if it wins, great, they make their money back. It's in a 32
Loading at GP.
Yeah, I see it there. So,
Okay.
you know, I'm with you there. I went with the 1 as well on the pace, you know, with Francisco Rojas, you know, 16%, going to be on the lead. I thought this horse might wire the field, to be honest, was my kind of perspective there. So, and then we'll jump to GP in a minute. I was spread in the last. You were also fairly spread. Let's jump over to Gulfstream. They're in the gate. Good luck. I did bet the 3 to win, so we'll see what happens here. I also played a 3-2 and then a 2-3 exacta box. So we'll see. Good luck, Chris.
Just awaiting Lord Jackson, who steps up and down to the outside will come Hercules. They're
I feel
at
like
boat.
somebody should be every time they say that name. It should be like I think it was in the clumps. Hercules, Hercules. Little stumble out of the gate there from the 4.
They are off. Septemberton with a nice beginning there towards the inside. We've gone through to his outside of Garbe, Sweep Wetus. Now crossing over to try and take early control. That's Lord Jackson. So Lord Jackson crosses over to take the early lead. First rule.
3 sitting nice.
Braccio De Firo is carried 3 wide as they move on to the
The 2's getting, I think we'll get a great trip here.
They're in heavy traffic from 4th. Slim, slow slider.
7 got shuffled back a lot.
Yeah, I saw that.
As they move across the backstretch. And at the back now, Septemberton. It is a tight pack as they move across the backstretch. They're still in pursuit of Lord
Not
Jackson.
quite sure why the 2's so wide there.
Just a neck back there second. Braccio De Firo is a length and a half off the lead. Carried 3 wide. A slim, slow slider. Continues to save ground. Agarme, Sweepuetus. In between horses from 5th, Hercules. Ridden on there on the outside 6. September.
The 2, the
5 lengths off the lead.
The 4 got such an easy lead here, but I think that horse just is not going to run. I mean, the 1 is loaded.
I think the 2's loaded.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 got a great trip. I never saw the fractions, but
vaults up on the outside, 4 wide off the turn.
Yeah, I was busy running my mouth and not looking at the fractions.
Back at the inside, it's first rule. They reach
the 2 gonna win.
Slow slider maintaining a short lead. Septemberton bears out of the outside.
Yeah, Chris, I should have singled the 2 like I told you this morning. I was on the fence on that and then didn't do it.
Slim slow slider was second.
Yeah, the 3 ended up getting 3rd, I think, which I don't know. That didn't really matter because I didn't have a pick 5 ticket anymore. But
yeah.
I figured that the 2 or 3 would win there. We talked a lot through that, but I don't know why the 3 was so close to the lead there. That's kind of a shame. I think that horse would have had a lot better of a chance. But I am not the jockey. But the 2 there ended up going off as the favorite, and
yeah,
you know, the 1 I obviously got second. I think that 3 ended up getting up for 3rd over the 7. It was really close. But they did stop. I mean, a lot up front, which I never saw. I don't know if they ever showed the fractions. Yeah, the 3 or 7, one of them got 3rd, but that was a good race, I think. You know, I mean, they, if we go back here, you know, I had said the 4 and 6 were stopping, which I think happened. I think that 7, you know, it's like, you have no idea what the 7 was going to do. The 2 got a great pace setup, you know, so nice ride. We talked a little bit about the 1, but hung on for a second, it looked like. So
yeah.
All
Loading
right.
at Delmar right now, even though we can't watch it.
Yeah, no, I see that. So you're 1, 3, 4, 7. I'm 1 through 4, 7, 8. Good luck, everybody. We won't be able to watch it, but should be a good race, I think.
Yeah, I'm kicking myself for not singling that 2 there and then being able to spread in that first leg.
Yeah, that was the play. See, I think that was well, it didn't matter because I didn't have the 4, but I knew that I had a feeling it was going to be the 2 or the 3 were the single there.
3's got the lead, 7 sitting in kind of a pocket trap.
Yeah, I didn't. I was trying to watch this real quick, but
Might be a little rank, the 7.
Please focus at a very good beginning.
Oh, there we go. Finally got the race.
Pretty swift pace, too. Definitely going to be something to run into, or the 3's a stakes quality horse, one or the other.
I mean, that horse, I mean, expected to get the easy lead, but they definitely went fast. I mean, the 2 is I had said, spread or single the 2. We'll see. Like, I would love if the 2 wins here. The 7's running really nicely at 7-2, though. But the 3's not stopping. The 2 not going to win, but you can see the
4's
4
coming.
coming. But the 3, that's all
7
pace.
lugged out just enough probably to keep the 4 from getting there.
Yeah, the 4 big favorite, but the 3 going to be gone.
I'll take it. Beaten favorite, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you get 5-2 there. Like, please focus.
Yeah.
Big pace advantage, right? That was able to get out there. I mean, set 23 and then went 47.5 and then just 112 almost at the 3/4. So was able to slow it down a little bit and had a ton to hang on. Did the 4 break?
Yeah, I think the 4, I didn't notice anything on the 4's break. It's just, wasn't good enough. And
Yeah.
also, the 7 lugged out just enough to slow some of that momentum just coming out of the turn too.
Yeah. All right. We both advance. You're singled in the next leg. I am singled in the 3rd leg. Beat the favorite there. That's good. Let's we have Golden Gate starting in 10 minutes. So let's try to we will squeeze this in. This is going to be quick. Why don't you that's your ticket. Why don't you talk us through here the first leg here? You're 3 deep at Golden Gate on the turf.
All right, hold on one sec. Somehow I dragged this to the wrong spot. Here we go. So Golden Gate 236. I'm going fast here. 6 is your top win percentage, top E pick. 0 for 7 at the distance though, so not a single, but a horse that you have to consider. I'm not sure the horse wants grass versus dirt or synthetic. Not a great horse just in general in terms of breeding. The 3 I think would be my top pick. 1 against what I'm going to call similar, breaking its maiden in terms of SOR. Should sit a nice trip here. Might be right off the lead. Hopefully they don't go too fast and should be right there to pounce. And the 2 is your second pick, second win percentage. And, same thing, been racing against better on synthetic. I think wants grass.
Yeah, for sure. Keep going. I'll show my picket. Why don't you take us through leg 2, and then just because we only have 10 minutes, I will I'll pull mine up, talk anything different. We're gonna land on the same single. So I have a feeling we'll have similar tickets, but you were 4 deep here, no 5, correct?
No 5, but I'm looking at this and I could single the 2 here. Top win percentage, second E pick. I would consider that. If I wasn't singling the 4 there, this would be my second single. If I wasn't singling the 4 in race 4. Huge pace advantage. Needs the lead. If it doesn't get the lead, it's dead, which is, obviously a concern. But just a 31.34, can't do math, 34-point pace advantage there. And then the 3 is your long shot, been racing against better, is dropping here. into a group that I think is more fitting for this horse. Raced pretty well on grass against 48s, and this is a 44. So the 3, I think, is or could be a factor if the 2 stops on the front end.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 1 last out winner against maidens on the turf, huge GSR drop, but is a Jonathan Wong horse, and that's why it's hard to not use it there, because he's the Baffert of Golden Gate, if you will. And then the 4, also huge drop here. Big GSR drop as well, but was running against 60s on synthetic and could just run away from this field.
Yeah, you have a bit. This horse is dropping huge in class. I mean, that was my comment there. You know, that the 3 though, I'm with you. I think that's the other Wong horse though. I feel like that's kind of the Baffert. And you look, you know, the 5-2 there versus the 1 is the other Wong. So, you know, which is 3-2. So I think this is going to be an interesting race. I really do. I'll pull my ticket up in a second. I only was 2 deep here. I just went 2 and 3. But take us to the 3rd leg. You were 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Who was your top pick here?
So my top pick there is the 1. And I think there's a lot of speed here. So my second pick is the 4. I think the 4 could come off the pace and just circle this group as well. Has a habit of not getting there and breaking slow. I'd like to see a better break, but I think the 4 could circle here, like I said, because there's so much speed. The 1 is dropping and has beaten 60s on dirt, and the GSR basically stays the same. So that's why the 1 and 4 in my mind are the top 2 picks there.
Yeah. I thought that the 2 was really interesting on the EquinEdge long shot for Blaine Wright. So Blaine Wright has 2 horses. He trains up here at Emerald Downs. The EquinEdge Morning Light dislikes the 3 just like no other. I mean, the 1 obviously kind of big favorite here, big pace. So the 2 horse, I mean, I'll be curious if this horse gets caught up in the speed duel. I think the question here is going to be, is there anything different that can happen for the 2? Rivera does get aboard, right? You know, only 5% though. I think that's the biggest concern. But I think the question becomes, you know, the 1's going to send, right? Like, it's no question. I think the 3 does. I mean, you would assume that the 2 wouldn't. But I don't know if this horse can rate. I think the issue or the question though is like, how tough was it here versus what? I mean, starter allowance is definitely coming in a lot easier than these kind of straight allowance companies. And what's going to happen here with all that speed? Can this horse sit the trip? I think is the question. I thought that the 6th, you know, win percentage dropping doesn't have really chance. I do it. I mean, Mary Margaret on the 4, I think for sure, you know, second EquinEdge pick, pace is going to get a perfect pace set up, you know, sticks to kind of the 6 furlongs on synthetic again. I mean, it's just been pure sprinting. And then you get, you know, Anton Georgie to ride here, who's been riding. This horse can't break though, right? I mean, slow, stumbled, slow. Like even here broke slow. So that's the concern for the 4, right? Is like, can this horse break it all?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, and it may not matter. These top 3 may just run each other to death.
Yeah. That's where I'm curious. I am curious on the 2. You know, the 1 could wire, the 1 and 3. The 1's going to be on the inside of the 3. I think is the biggest concern. You know, I think, you know, Tamayo has both the 4 and 5, although Anton Georgie stays on the 4 instead of riding the 5, if that tells anybody anything. But this will be an interesting race. I mean, it's a nice starter allowance race. You're single here in leg 4. I'm not surprised. You have Wong and Catalina Martinez, but tell me why the 4 and not the 6.
So I had this as a 2-horse race, pretty much. But I preferred the second win percentage, second E pick, tied for top E morning line horse. I just thought this horse with the SOR ran really well against 62s there, and is dropping a little bit here, is going to get the jump this time on the 6 and turn the tables.
Yeah, so they faced each other last out, right? In this starter allowance race. So, same level. This race comes back a little bit easier though. But same race conditions and everything. I mean, I'm not surprised that you went here. I mean, the 6 is second off the layoff as well as the 4. They faced each other, so did you watch this race?
I did. They both kind of broke slow. If either of
Yeah.
them breaks, I think that's where the advantage is.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, the 4 definitely broke a little bit slower and was definitely uncomfortable. The 6 is this horse was like a favorite here in a 46, and then but did not run really great here. But then, obviously ran really great here. I just my question here on the 6, was, essentially, are you going to be able to, run the same race again? Where I guess you could say the 4 had a little bit of trouble. I would say more trouble. So yeah. Your spread here in the last. Tell me anything you like best here. I thought this was a fairly wide open race.
Yeah, I agree. 7 was my top pick here, top win percentage, second E pick. Horse does like to finish second, I'm sorry, at the distance a lot, but I thought that based on the amount of speed here, that this could be the race that the 7 gets here. I also like the 3-1 E morning line angle versus the 8-1 morning line.
Yeah, for sure. The 4 is 1%, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm just
And the 2's the heavy favorite, and the 2, it's a massive GSR drop of almost 20 points from dirt to synthetic there, and didn't really run against weaker on dirt. So why would I think going 8 furlongs that this horse should be 9-5?
Yeah. This horse does not want to. Whoops, that's still more ticket. Does not want to. This horse wants to sprint. I mean, you see it in GSR Plus, right? I mean, that's a big GSR drop. It's going to be the pace. This horse is 100% stopping, I would say, in my mind, for Ron Ellis.
Yep.
Like, I just don't see it. So, yeah. All right, that's yours. Mine. Let me pull it up here. Similar ticket, a little bit similar, a little bit different, but same single. Oh, it didn't do it. Hold on. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm all in the first. Same single as you. A little bit risky, but that's okay. Only 2 deep in the second leg, but I'm tossing the 1 and just going 2, 3 here. The other Jonathan Wong. And then no 3 there. That's mine. So we have same single. Mine's a little bit cheaper at 108. You're at 120. I spread a little bit more in the first and last leg, and you have a little more coverage in the second leg. They're going on the turf course. I love seeing them on the turf still at Golden Gate. I don't know how much longer that will last, but it's good to see.
I was surprised when I saw that. I really kind of waited to see if they would stay on there because it's so late in the year.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's I think I love that they race right now. You have Del Mar going, but I've gone a little more affinity with Golden Gate. I like to see it. So, all right, I'm all here. You are
236.
236.
Yep.
Flip it over to Matt. They're loading. Almost loading.
The dinner man.
He's a great announcer. I loved him when he was at Emerald for when I first got into horse racing. I think he was still here, and then has obviously been at Golden Gate for a while now. But just a great race caller, I feel like.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that way about Joe Dooley because he was the Arlington race caller for a long time. So, you know, those are kind of our guys, if you will.
And Michael has taken his spot in the game. Here's Class Proof going in. The Lana Ranger
That
coming
is,
up.
I always forget how narrow this turf course is too, with that gate out, with
Yeah,
the rail out.
yeah. Who's the pace here? Oh, the 7.
Yeah.
Seven's taking no money.
Two back.
I'd be curious. This is going to be interesting.
06. And to round out the field, Made the Team. Here's Made the Team coming up to the gate.
I mean, the 7's a slight pace advantage.
Rider hopped
Yeah,
up
I
there.
saw
Kevin
that.
Radke made the team, about to load without the jockey.
Hey, Cindy, if you're still out there, any good Woodbine plays today? Always have to ask Cindy about Woodbine, I feel like.
Still working with Made the Team.
We still got to get Chris's pick 5 home at Gulfstream because I think that's going to pay really well.
About to climb back aboard. He's in the
Yeah,
saddle,
like
ready
congrats
go
to him.
in the
Great
opener.
sequence, Chris.
We're off and running at Golden Gate
The
Field.
7 not going to get the lead. The 2's they're
Got an easy lead.
To the front.
Yeah, he's gonna get, he or she's gonna get pressured though. They're going. I would assume they're going pretty fast here. We'll see though.
As they charge into the clubhouse turn. Night Proof is on the lead here, length in front.
Look at that grass. It looks beautiful. It's nice and long and lush.
In a good stocking spot. Made the Team, broke from the outside post. He's on the fence now, running in 4th, 2.5 in front of Tam's.
I don't.
They should send whoever's doing the grass there to Churchill to fix their course.
Yeah,
on the fairgrounds.
Moves right along as a half-length lead on the Lana Ranger, who's pressing hard all the way.
23.
Now a neck apart as they go
That's
down
not that fast.
2.5 ahead of Skydance.
At a mile.
In third, a length clear of Made the Team. Attempts to get closer with a half mile to go. He's on the fence. Tam's time.
the
still
7's
fifth.
running
The red,
nicely,
white,
gaining
blue colors
here.
About 5 lengths off. Dueling leaders approaching the turn, and Danny Michael is still
The
the
6
Let's
is
see if
just
the
had a
6 is
great.
sitting on horse here. I think.
Proof.
Yeah, the 6's ran a great trip the whole time.
The Lana Ranger is still right there on the outside.
You know,
is without being asked. He's third within a length and a half.
Gaining,
of the top
he or
pair.
she's
Made the
gaining,
Team
but
fourth. He's under pressure.
I think the
Time
problem
losing
here,
ground.
though,
Danny
I don't
Michael
know
is still well out
that
of it
they
as
went all
swing
that
for home.
fast.
In the opener, the Lana Ranger, Night Proof side by side, still going at it.
I don't know if the 2
Skydance
gonna
pick
get
him
up.
on
It's
the
gonna be
grandstand
close, or the
side.
6 is gonna
Night
get
Proof
up. It's gonna be close though.
Skydance trying to
I
tag
think
him,
the
but
6
Lana
is.
Ranger has
No,
given
I
way.
think the 2 is going to stay up.
Outside of Night Proof, there's still
It's gonna be
stride for
close.
stride
Wow.
as they come to the line, and
Yeah,
Night
2
Proof
hangs
held
on.
Yeah.
Skydinsky. Night Proof all the way. Skydinsky second.
Well,
Lana
nice
That was a
Yeah.
nice little turf race.
was fourth.
Yeah, it was. That and I love that they do it the first race of the day there. Well done. You get through. I had a lot more coverage, but that was a nice race. I mean, it was definitely didn't take much. Look at the morning line. How good is that? 3-1 and goes off at 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty crazy. All right, so we have Gulfstream in 3 minutes, right? I think that's what's next.
That's crazy right now. To me, the odds are crazy at Gulfstream.
On the 5.
On the 1.
The 1 is 8-1. Let me get over there. Hold on, give me a sec. Is this race 8? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the 5. See, people think the 5 is just going to go gate to wire, right?
Right.
I think
But
Zayas is very sneaky on this 2 horse. And then we talked about the 1, right? I mean, for sure has the potential to rate here from being, stalked here last out with Sonny Leone, who rides back. I would not expect that. I think the 5 is going to go really fast. You talked about the added distance when we covered this race earlier.
yeah,
And, this horse has won 3 in a row, but also it's really at this level. You look at somebody like the 1 is taking probably a slight drop in class and is shown can stalk, so, in the dirt, I don't remember how the dirt was playing a little bit ago when, we had seen that.
yeah.
But I would not be surprised to see the 1 have a nice stalking trip here, or somebody to, we talked about, I think maybe the 8 a little. Yeah, the 8 was the horse that just has struggled to win. But I'd say don't sleep on the 2. But what does Chris have? Good luck, Chris.
He has 158,
Okay.
which I think is pretty good here.
Yeah, that's the logical horses, right? I mean, if the 5 is just, that's a massive a win percent. I think the thing about this race, though, I mean, starter optional claim, speed does do well on those 1 turn 8 furlongs. I just think, to your point, is this horse gonna be able to hold on and last? I mean, did not here in a 52, but then has, I guess, 3 in a row. Well, 3 out of 4 got DQ'd here. So
yeah, and that was the DQ. He got tired there at the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the 5 is, that's a very short price. But look at that. I mean, even money is what the system says on both of them. On the 5, on the live morning line with EquinEdge. I mean, taking money. Morelos.
Yeah, I got the 5 and the 8. Well, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong. I was reading the wrong column, but should be an interesting race for sure. I was just gonna say, should be an interesting race.
Yeah. Well, see, I bet that the see if it says 5-8. I'm curious. It's got
you had
my
already
ticker in there. Yeah, so we won't do that. But yeah, I if you're playing a vertical, for sure add the 2. I think Zayas is going to run nicely here. I really do. This has only won 1 time on the surface and distance, but again, been facing tougher, old timer 7-year-old here. I mean, there's a lot of wins here. These are the races that, and I mean, it's a starter optional claim. I mean, so the 5's not up for a claim. The 1 isn't. The 3 isn't. The 2. The only horse up for a claim is the 7. So, I mean, but it just shows, this horse being 4 to 5 is pretty insane. And this is a difficult race, and you got to imagine that the 1 is not going to let Morelos get loose or anything. I think Sonny's going to try to stay close and just stalk off the speed here. All right, here they go.
All right, come on, 5. Don't climb out of the gate there.
And he is followed by Mr. Tito's. They are at the post. And they are off. Favorite C-Trotted broke sharply from the far outside, Mr. Tito's. Also look at the big
5
step there
not
in
want
the
the
early
lead?
stages with Aker. We've gone through down
Wow.
at the
Didn't get it. Your 2 got the lead. I thought he broke a little sideways, to be honest.
I don't know why the 5 didn't go to the lead.
The 5. Well, I mentioned this, in my breakdown, that I thought the 5 was tactical and didn't need the lead, and maybe to get the distance might not go to the lead.
24-1. High Yield Kitten just a length off the lead there. Second, the favorite C-Trotted. Odds on there at 4 to 5. Continues in the third spot. Ain't Wasting Time is just off the top trio from fourth. Mr. Tito's runs a 4 lengths off the lead. Right now, the fifth spot, 4 clear.
Right now, that 8 looks good to
Big
me.
Gray, and it's about 8 further back to the
2
trailer.
gonna win,
Fabulous
man.
Exchange.
We'll see.
The half was up in
I
47
would
and
be
1.
surprised
Baker
if
still
anybody
there, getting pesky
like
pressure from High Yield Kitten. C Trotted just a length and a half off the lead of the outside third.
the 8's coming. I mean,
Ain't
is this?
wasting time.
I
Continue
guess
to
the
stay
question is
ground.
going to be:
Mr.
Is this
Tito
the
is starting to
day?
generate some offense. He begins to
This
move
looks
up
like the
full
day to
wide
me
bit.
right now.
As it look around the far turn, Acre under heavy
Oh, he ended up
Hangs.
going. He ended up going a lot faster. 8's going to win. Yeah, you're right.
Mr. Tito's trying to rush up alongside C Trotted. They're off 3/4 in 112. It's Mr. Tito's up on the
5's
outside
game,
of C
though.
Trotted. These two going to battle into the final 16.
One's trying.
Mr. Tito's a short lead. C Trotted trying to battle back down at the inside. It's Mr. Tito's a short lead. C
What a
Trotted
battle.
still battling on, but Mr.
Yeah, good race.
Tito's has got him.
Boom,
C.
Chris.
Trotted.
Yeah,
That was a great race.
well done there. He's what, 2 deep in the last 2 and 3, I think, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
correct.
Okay. We got I think it's not for about 35 minutes. So let's jump back to, I think, your single at Del Mar, if I remember correctly, in 2 minutes. Can't show the race, but we'll track along here. I'm gonna pull it up on my side screen here. So maiden specials, 2 Baffords here, right? You went to Bletchley Park, the morning line favorite. In my opinion, I think the 2 is for sure live here, the top EquinEdge pick. But in your ticket, you were singled to the 4. If I remember correctly, I think I was all here in my pick 5.
So.
I don't even, is it 180? Yeah, I think that was it, if I remember correctly. And I'm singled in the next leg to Joe Bravo. Yep. So, and then please focus, second EquinEdge pick, 1 there in the first race. So good luck, Oldy. You got the 4 horse Bletchley Park from Bob Baffert, Johnny V. They're approaching the gate here in a minute. Beautiful day again in Del Mar. I was on Twitter. I saw John Lease. Is he still race calling today? I don't have the sound on, but he had been race calling. But he had showed a picture from the race call booth of, he had said it's the only race call booth that you get a look at the ocean. He said.
I'm trying to think if Gulfstream's not close enough to the ocean. I don't think there is another one.
Yeah, there might be one somewhere, but he had, obviously not that he's called, but I don't know if there is another one. It's so close there. That's a beautiful track. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, your 4 single, big favorite here, 8 to 5. The 3 and 5 taking a little bit of money. Pratt's on the 3 for Peter Miller. The other Baffert with Vasquez, the 2 horse. I think for sure is a player here. I would not be surprised to see run well. I also think the Menendez horse, the 3, which is taking some money with Maldonado, has a shot.
Surprised they're a 40% combo.
Johnny V and Baffert?
I'm sorry, a 20% combo on the 3.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like Maldonado rides a lot for Luis. Well, they broke. Did the 4 or I don't know if the 4 going to get the lead.
The 5's getting the lead.
The 4 is going to get caught in between horses. Maybe. No. But he's going to have to probably shift outside now. Definitely cause a little momentum. We'll see who's best here. The Menendez horse.
Like their 3 is the best here.
Yeah, 4 is a lot of horse, though. The Menendez horse, though, there is running really nice at 7 to 2.
The 3's gone.
Yeah, the 4 is done.
Here
The
comes
2
your
is
2.
I don't think that horse is running. Menendez, Maldonado has the 3, fairly much in hand. I don't even think is asked yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that horse is gone.
The 2's going to end up getting second. We didn't, I talked to, those were the 2 horses I thought had a great shot to win. The 4
Yep.
ended up getting third, 5 dueling there with Pratt trying to get the lead, just didn't have a shot. So, I advance, I'm singled in the next. That's a, I think the 4 probably needed the lead there. That was tough.
No,
All right.
definitely. I agree.
So we're going to hop over to, we have the Gulfstream Park race. How much time we got till Gulfstream? We have, or till Golden Gate. We got 14 minutes? 13 minutes.
Yeah, so I think we can do the, I think we can do Delmar Saturday Stakes race, the Desi Arnaz.
Yeah, so tomorrow, Desi Arnaz is race 6 for 2-year-old fillies, non-graded stakes, going 7 furlongs on the dirt. I thought, like, I don't know, I'll be curious on your perspective here. Parity's, only 12% to win, but the morning line absolutely loves this horse. Morning line does not like the 6. The Top EquinEdge picks like the 2, but where'd you land here? I thought there was a lot of speed, so it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts.
So, I broke this down as, a lot depends on whether Justique can break. So, I look through the works are good. The horse has shown that it can run against this level of class. The problem is the horse can't break. And Sheriffs has not been doing gate drills with this horse, so I have no confidence that this issue is fixed either. This horse is a possibility. I get why it's 37%, but I just don't see it being able to win here. The 2, who is the Baffert that you're talking about, the morning line loves. This is actually first time Baffert being moved to Baffert by Windstar. Same connections as originally on Life is Good, same connections as Country Grammar. I think this horse is probably pretty live, probably going to show more speed than it did last time, but doesn't need the lead. I think this horse is really dangerous here. This horse is probably a single in my mind. I know there's another Baffert here, and that's the 4. It's lesser known connections, low GSR, but gets Pratt. Pratt doesn't go up on non-live horses for Baffert. 67 GSR. I think this horse needs the lead, though. I realize against 48s, was able to go by tired, less classy horses, but you look and it just kind of did what we just saw that 4 do in the last race at Delmar, and just kind of stop when it didn't get the lead.
Yeah.
I will say practical jokes are often dangerous as in one-turn races.
Yeah, that was my, just to keep going here in a minute, but this is the top GSR for this horse is 7 furlong. So I think great call on the breeding side, Oldy. The practical joke here, this horse is a sprinter. I can go 2 turns, but I think to your point, this horse could be a little bit sneaky. I think to your point, the problem could be of whether it gets the lead, which is why I think there's just going to be a ton of speed here. I really do, but keep going.
And then I wrote a note on the E long shot because I know you love the E long shots. I put lost by last 2 by 40 plus lengths after winning at a lesser track by 15. Needs lead and declare cannot handle pace pressure.
Yeah, I I don't think the 3 has a shot, but I mean, I can always be proven wrong. This would not be a long shot play for me. I also don't. I just think the 3, 6, and 7, the 5 and 7 I
Yeah.
cut, but the 3 and 6, I don't know how this horse is 9-5.
I was about to ask that question.
Like, I guess, I mean, it just romped here, but like, I mean, so maiden special is only a 48, and I guess, they don't know that probably when they set the morning line, which is how the morning line is so awesome, right? I mean, this horse, and it probably Blessed Touch is probably going to go off at 5 or 7 to 1, I would guess. But I mean, we're seeing the race exactly the same. I think that the 1 being the top win, I think is the big question mark, because 1 first out breaking awful in a 50 and then didn't break here and still ran well, right? In the grade 2 Chandelier, who also had the 4 came out of and just didn't run, but I think, to your point, I think this horse probably wants to go 1 turn, so the cutback could be really sneaky here with Pratt Baffert. So I'm all 1 for 2. I think the 2 parity is it probably going to take a ton of money, just as the morning line says. I have not looked at the works or heard anything about any of these, so it's something I will for sure do probably tomorrow before this race. But I think, looking here, horses working nicely, was out at Churchill and in Kentucky and Keeneland, and to your point, they shipped this horse over to Del Mar for a nice little 2-year-old stakes race. And so I think this one has a lot of promise with parity. And then I think the 1 and 4, maybe are the upset horses. But we see it the total same way.
Yeah, and I wonder if the Tim Yakatine horse is getting benefit in the win percentage of the fact that he took over some Baffert horses and inflated his win percentage and inflated some of his stats there. That would go into that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, this horse is for sure the speed here. But I gotta imagine Naughty Ludi is also gonna show pace on the inside. I think it's gonna, the cutback here, both. I think the 4 and 2 have shown that they can rate stock right off the speed. We just have no idea about the 1 horse.
Yeah.
The 1 second EquinEdge pick definitely is bred for 2 churns all day long. Probably didn't, it's just broken awful. So what's gonna change, right? I mean, they're not adding blinkers.
No gate drill.
Yeah, I mean, that's an insane work there. A 58 flat bullet, which is pretty intense, and that's a good work. So I mean, this horse is Justique is no joke for a 2-year-old filly. I think it's just going to depend on the break. I mean, she can't break awful probably versus the 2 and 4, the Bafferts.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
And one other thing on the 2, the works, it's only the last 2 works that the horse has been moved to Baffert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, once it shipped from Keeneland.
Yep, correct.
Yeah. So good race. We have
1 through 4.
Anything else you want to add? You're 1 through 4 here at Golden Gate. I think I'm just 2, 3, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I think this was 1-0. I'm going to save this in a second, and then I don't have to keep doing this. That's a bummer. Let me see here. I wrote it down, though.
No
so I
worries.
was all, and then 2, 3. We talked about oh no, this is tomorrow. That's why. I'm like, what happened? All right, there we go. I'm gonna duplicate this so I don't have to do that again. All right, I'm 2-3. You're 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like the two is not taking any money at all with the pace.
Mhm.
The one I ended up getting rid of. The other I went with the other Jonathan Wong here, and the 3 horse who morning line big value. For St. Helena, the EquinEdge long shot to come off the speed here, but maybe somewhat close. Both Wongs hitting at 22% with Espinosa and Ayuso. This could be a good race. Like
Yeah.
I ended up just kind of tossing the chalk here. I thought this horse could wire. I thought the 3 was just as intriguing. Gets a slight increase in win up to 13%. The 1, won here, but that was a 38. Stepping up onto synthetic. GSR doesn't say so. Doesn't say the same either on the 3. They're both doing the
Right.
kind of the same thing here. The morning lines, essentially says they're about the same. So we'll see. I do think the 2 though. Obviously, Evan Roman could be tough on the front end.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't understand why the 3. I'm sorry, why the 1 is 4 to 5.
Yeah,
Coming off
I
a
mean,
turf
unless
win.
there's. Mm-hmm.
Turf win, 12-point drop in GSR. The win was against significantly easier. Is first time Wong. That's the only thing in the plus column in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, and I think did this horse move? Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was claimed. Looks like maybe just switched barns basically. So, obviously something coming of that. I mean, the thing here, I mean, this horse just didn't want to win, right? On the turf and the, similar level down at Santa Anita, finally breaks its maiden at race 11. Maybe the light bulb popped off. The 2, you look there, broke its maiden after 7 tries, on the lead, hung on in a 34.
Mhm.
I think this horse could be really dangerous. It'll be interesting what happens here with you got to assume that with the 1 and 3 that these horses are not going to sit the exact same trip, but maybe they do. Maybe they both just sit. One sits close, one sits a little bit further. Maybe they both are sitting close. I don't know. It'll be interesting, I think, with the 1 and 3 on what happens, both coming from the Wong barn.
I know if this was Chad Brown, one of those horses would be a rabbit.
Yeah. I mean, and you might see it. I mean, it's probably not the 1 because this horse just doesn't ever show speed on the turf.
Right.
But the 7 definitely looks like could be closer to the lead. But I would imagine that, I mean, it's not going to push the 2 insane. The 2 just looks to be so much faster. But maybe the 1 takes back a little bit, where the 3 sits a little bit closer. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll flip over to Matt. They're getting up to the gate. And then we have, I think, is that the pick 5 ending at Gulfstream? Chris Walsh, you're too deep. Good luck, buddy.
I wanted to look at those will pays too.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know. I don't have them up. You're all but 5 here, and I'm 2-3.
Yeah.
And the red light is now
flashing. All right, so let's look. Chris was 2-3, I believe. Runners
have made their way towards the gate for the second race.
Yeah, I think so.
Ooh. So it's about 4,700 to the 2 and about 1,500 to the 3.
Good luck, Chris. And the next at Gulfstream, we'll pop over there probably right after this. I know we're also going to cover one more stakes race tomorrow at Del Mar. Another one good on the card there, and then we will also do one more stakes preview. There's a grade 3 at Churchill tomorrow. We'll talk through.
And one of my favorite horses is running in the other stakes race at Del Mar as well.
I love it. Good. All right.
Ready to go.
Here we go.
And Laurel.
2 didn't
St.
break.
Helena wins
Great.
the start, is up on the pace. Team Concept gets a tap on the shoulder to get
I'm not
into
seeing
it.
anything on your screen.
Together on the lead
It's
and they
frozen.
stride together, approaching the clubhouse turn. Team
All right,
Concept
give me a
inside.
second.
St. Helena with a head in front, and Team Concept.
Yeah, that's exactly what the 3 was in here to do, was rabbit.
Leader trying to
Can
clear
you
off,
see
does so,
now?
and Team Concept will
Yes.
now take back and sit right on the tail of the leader, St. Helena. So St. Helena
Did it stay? I just moved it to full screen. Let me know if it stayed.
Yeah, no, it stayed. Chris Walsh knows me too well, too. He knew exactly who the horse who my favorite horse is in that other Del Mar race.
So they're not necessarily going all that fast here. The 2 didn't break good, and so the 3 just said, "Fine, I'll take the lead."
Stays on the fence. And Aliso Beach is still the trailer. Now
The
running
4,
6
lots of
behind as they
bling,
charge
running
into the
nicely,
far
but the
turn.
1
Yeah.
is
With
the
3
1 looks
furlongs to
fairly
go,
fairly
the half
loaded
length in
too,
front,
but
Team Concept
I think the
goes
3
Uh,
might go gate to wire here.
under a little pressure, niggle the line.
I
The
don't.
Ginger Queen
He's in
stays
hand
on the
still.
fence.
Be curious
Is
here. The
waiting at
one
moment.
the
She's
one
on restraint,
is
but
running
has a lot of
nicely,
run behind
but
the leaders at the
just
top
doesn't
of the
look
lane.
all that
Aliso Beach has
comfortable.
been outrun.
2's
Top
being
of the
asked.
St. Helena off the turn is still in front. Team Concept second, trying to get fire. The Ginger Queen.
Come on,
has
one of
angled
these. Get
outside,
up.
and she has a clear path to run on if
The
she's
2
good
is
enough. Coming to
the 1
2
is
just needs-
lugging out big time, but the 1's gonna win.
The 2 just needs to run straight.
Oh, get up 2. Get up. Nope.
No,
Oh,
2.
that's close, man.
Very close.
I think the 2 got it, but I'm not sure. Scott says the 1.
I
And
think
maybe
the
the
1
angle,
won.
too. No, I thought it
Yeah.
was the 2.
I mean, I didn't have the 1, so the Chosen Vaughn, your favorite horse. Yeah, that both the 1 and the 2 were.
Photo and race number 2. Please continue.
Photo.
To stand by until the photo finish results have been posted and the race is declared official.
Come on,
What?
Matt. Give us an opinion.
1 was on the wrong lead, man. The 2 got a great
2.
bob, I would say. At least from my view.
I wish we could see more of a head-on. We're at an angle. It's really hard to tell. Two was posted.
Number 2.
Oh, I like it.
Concept was first.
I advance. I did not
Yay,
have
team.
the 1.
Yay, team.
Wow, that was close, man. I think the one was on the wrong lead. The one's
Yeah.
gonna win there if can get on the right lead.
So
All
maybe
right.
the 2 didn't go to the lead because they knew the horse could rate.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean for sure. We have 10 minutes till Del Mar. Gulfstream is in. It says 4 minutes.
Yeah.
3. Let's see here. So we are both live at Gulfstream or at Golden Gate.
Golden
Sorry,
Gate.
not Gulfstream. Chris is live at Gulfstream to the 2-3. We need more run good. I'm glad that the 2 held on there. Chris, I hope for the 2. I think that horse is insanely dangerous at Gulfstream. Was that's probably my top pick in this race. So I really hope the 2 comes through. You and I were both spread on our kind of defunct tickets. I thought that this race was tough. I think to a lot of people's point of, I think, talked about the 3 I've kind of seen, and like this was the horse coming for Safi back to Gulfstream, had been shipped around at Churchill and Fairgrounds in 2020, has had just a ton of trouble. Didn't run here at all in a 40,000 claimer. Churchill, and now they just basically cut the claiming tag in half. This race comes back tough though, as a 58
Yeah.
for the 3-horse, which was my biggest concern. I'm guessing probably similar to yours.
Yeah, I mean, Safi is tough on the synthetic at Gulfstream though. And when Brown and Clement come back, they were each like 30+% last year on the synthetic.
Yeah. The 23% there. The 2 is taking no money, 0% trainer, but 20% to win, which is just pretty crazy. You're only going to find that with kind of EquinEdge. The 4 had that morning line angle. It's EquinEdge second pick as well. I've bet this horse before. It seems to never win. Maybe today it wins. It's stepping up in class. The 7 is a lot of value. We talked about the 7 quite a bit, going to be coming late. I also don't love, the 3, it's going to be, I don't know how fast they're going to go, but I think this race could set up for the 2, 4, or 7. But I hope for the 2 for you, Chris. I really do.
My guess, if I know Chris, because we've played many tickets together over the years, is he's outside smoking and not watching the race at all.
I don't like
when he's alive to a big payday, that's what he does. He's there.
You gotta watch the race though. I don't know how you do that, Chris. Like, good for you for, why does he do it, Chris? Why do you do that? Or Oldy, do you know?
Superstition would be my guess.
But
I've never formally asked him.
Does he, Chris? Do you like rewatch the race, like, or do you just like come back to see like what's been posted? I'm curious because I always want to, even though it can be heartbreaking, I always want to watch my payoff leg, to see what happens. It either can be very exciting or not so much, right? Maybe that's why he just likes to have the mellowness and just come back to see what happens. But Chris, I'd be curious to hear like why not watch the last leg? And did you just come back to see what's posted? Oh, you rewatch it. Oh, see, you check the results when you get back to your. You get a big surprise when you see the color posted, and then you rewatch the race. So that's good.
He waits to see if all of us are screaming boom.
Yeah. He said not yet, going out in the few. Oh, that's well, they're moving over to the Tapeta. I'm hoping for your 2,
step
Chris.
onto the Tapeta surface, and they are making their way. It is
Scotty talks about the community all the time, but I've met some great people through the community. Chris is one of them. Kenny, Lexi, and Christy, and Erica, and obviously Justin. I met this through E as well. So it really is a community. It's really amazing what Scotty's built.
Yeah, it's I've run in, Oldy, you and I met up in Keeneland. I've met other people at Del Mar. It's awesome. I think that's one of the great things about horse racing, right? You meet a lot of friends and everybody's in it together. I think just in general, like as an industry, like in a sport, like it has such a family feel. That's the one thing I noticed as I got into this like 8 years ago. It's like, doesn't really matter who you are. Like there's always a family feel, and people just love to, I think, support the game and the industry and the horses and jocks and owners and everybody. It's really awesome.
Absolutely.
Amazingly,
my voice is held up pretty well too. There was a couple moments there, but
I know it actually sounds like it's getting a little bit better.
I'm working it into game shape.
All right. Good luck, Chris. Can you see Oldy? Is it showing?
Yeah, you're good this time.
Red post. And they
3 broke nicely.
Running in the Friday finale from Gulfstream. The favorite telephone talker shoots out quickly. Brody Chesko also left the gate alertly. Let him from the extreme outside. Advances up at the outside of the early.
They look to be going fast, which is
in fourth onto the opening.
That's a good thing for the 2 and 3. I would say here on the synthetic.
Threshold moves through at the inside 6 with Hay Porter. And
3
then
looks
Grant
like he's
Curtis,
getting a really
Patricia,
relaxed trip there too.
spaghetti for causalistic.
Yeah, the
Lodi
20.
Chesco.
I mean, 20,
But
almost
early,
24.
3
5
late
running
to
off
margin,
here.
led 'em.
At 8.5 on the
Quarter was 23
synthetic,
and
that's
4.
pretty quick.
Telephone talker.
Yeah,
At the
the
inside
5 horse
third, that's Kid and Spot.
had
Was
been
outside fourth.
sprinting and
Officer Country's
stretched
3
out.
wide
I
from
don't
fifth, right
know
now
if this
6.5
horse can
off the
wire
top.
on the synthetic,
Threshold
though.
is
That's
next
going to
in
be
sixth,
very
and
hard
quarter. The back markers,
unless
Mr. Batoon
is
checking
able to save a lot of
causalistic. They run
energy
across
here in
sea
the
at
second
backstretch.
quarter,
And Miguel Vasquez
which
still has
did not.
Lodi Chesco stake to Batoon link lead.
Two's got horse.
Yeah, you mean getting great trip. The 3 as well.
3 watts. And there are 3
The
across.
7 is running really nice. So is the
Yeah.
2. The 3,
They turn up the pressure. That's
Come on, 3.
he's got a horse.
3 wide third.
Come on,
Gotta
2
get
or
through,
3.
though.
Favorite urged out. He looks for a place to race from a fourth. That's Mr. Batushchik at a big price to his outside fifth.
The
Threshold.
2's running
Step.
nicely. Come on, 2.
The inside is
Come on.
sixth. They're just 3 lengths off the lead. 3/4, 112. They turn for home with the
One
Friday
time for
Valley.
piss here.
Let 'em
Get
know.
up, 2. Come on, 2.
Officer
One
Country
time.
Consider. Mr. Batushchik at a
No.
good price. Rallies up at the far outside, wide open
No.
at the finale. Let 'em a short lead. Barodi
Get up,
Chesco trying to
3.
come back off
Come on,
again.
3.
3's coming.
Batushchik moves
I
up
did
far
not
outside
see
the
this
field.
late rally coming.
He's really got a real estate.
Nope, not quite.
Mr.
7.
Mr. Batushchik, Officer Country. Photo finish in the finale.
That's
That's so
talked about-
draining.
we talked about that horse a lot. That
Yeah.
is brutal. That was the EquinEdge long shot. Oh, Chris, I think the 7 won there. They're definitely showing the 7, but he probably is not. He's not there, so he's not going to. We will see his arrival probably in a minute, but that was tough. I mean, you could see how wide open that race was.
It's even tougher when you see the will pay on the 7 or the 8.
What was the 7?
Whichever. I know. The 7 was over $5,000 on a
Yeah.
50-cent ticket.
Coming late was the EquinEdge morning line had that horse pegged. You know, you got 14 to 1 on that. Wow. 8 was 13 to 1. Wow. Well, so Del Mar, I am alive to a singled 6. You get knocked out in last leg, right?
Yeah, correct.
I don't remember I didn't save this one.
No, I don't think I screenshotted it. I feel like the air just came out of the balloon that didn't hit, even though it wasn't ours.
I'm curious here. I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's it. Trying to look. Yeah, that was mine. I'm single to the 6. Is this horse taking any money? Nope.
It's 6 to 1. I mean,
yeah, sitting right there. And this is a risky play. I thought this was a tough race, though. 7, 2 to 1. The 1, first time turf. GSR's dropping. JJ for Carla Gaines. You know, that's tough to drop into allowance company, right? I mean, and switching surface now on not necessarily something the horse wants to do. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is like, the 3 and 5 are the EquinEdge picks. The 7 there. I think this race is wide open. I'm hoping this 6 horse gets right back to this race with Bravo again, and can sit 4 to 6 lengths off. It looks like they're semi approaching the gate. They got a little ways to go. That's a beautiful day in Del Mar. But they could sit the trip here. We'll see though. I'm hoping that just all that speed, I talked about this. You have a lot of 3-year-olds in this race. So the 3 is going to be on the speed as a 3-year-old. The 5 is a 3-year-old. The 1 is a 3-year-old. 7's a 4-year-old. The 2 and 6 are both 6-year-olds. A lot of experience here. The 6 is, I'm guessing, the all-time kind of leader in money. Yeah. Or the 2, I think overall. Oh, no, the 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't. Oh no, the 6 is total. Yeah,
And
the
I
2. So
I think you have it hidden, but when did they let Kent DeSormo back?
I don't know. I had heard. I read that last week though.
Yeah.
Same story, right? Uh, and I don't have. I wish the guy best. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's same story. Hopes to. Yeah, Chris. And sorry, man. You had already come back, but yeah,
Yeah.
Ken is today his first day. I had just read that he was coming back. I didn't see when, but yeah, no, he's back riding.
I just have no confidence that he's not going to do something else awful and that
Yeah.
he's cleaned his life up. I mean, he's had so many opportunities to clean up his life. Not that
Hmm.
we should be judging, but still.
Yeah, I'm with you. But yeah, I came back to Del Mar. Well, we'll see here. I'm rooting for this 6. Would love to see one of
We're
these
rooting for
singles.
you here, for sure.
I like this ticket if don't judge. Scott said don't judge. Yeah, I mean, well done in the first part of that sequence, Chris, of hitting the daily double. To your point, it eases the pain a little bit. Yeah, I think Ken, most people do, hope he
Uh,
gets back on track.
and in just a rider sense, before that happened, he was riding the best he had in years.
Yeah, I didn't follow, but good for him, 10
Yeah,
times. Nice. That's a good hit,
nice.
Chris.
Way to cover, Chris.
I mean, they're loading here. One does not want to load. That looks like is going to be the favorite on the rail here. I don't. This is going to be insanely tough on the rail. Like I would rather have an outside post here, 5 furlong sprinting with all this speed on the 3 and 5 that the 1 is going to try to have to take from the rail. But maybe I'm wrong.
Well, you also took the 8 out. You should put the 8 and the 4 back in so you can see the full pace picture.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they're about to go here. I'll
The
say.
8's like a 90 also.
6 didn't break.
6
That's a
blew the
shame.
break, yeah.
But we'll see here. That's going to be tough though to win. The 1 is all those horses on the lead there.
Yeah, I kind of think the 2's sitting the trip right now.
Yeah, Vava Voom, 6%. The 1 too. The 6 is going to find it hard, near impossible to win that race with that type of break.
I don't know. The 6 is coming. 6 is coming.
The
He might
problem
just
is
circle this group.
he has
5 is.
he has to sustain this. Come on, 6. The 3's out there though, man. I don't think yeah, you can't blow the brake like that. The 1 ended up winning.
Yeah.
Had a nice trip. That's
a bummer.
Can I do calls like I just posted for races we can't watch? What do you mean? I'm not tracking.
Yeah.
Well, that is a shame. We got Golden Gate and
Yeah, we did the right thing. Both of us did by dropping the favorite there. And we got burnt that time.
yeah, one ends up winning there. 6 blew the break, had no shot. That's a bummer. Doris May with the win, had 1 there in a 50, sat, great trip off the speed. You talked about the 4 and 8 adding back. Yeah, I mean the 8 there, 1%. And the 5 ran well. The 3, speed held. The 5 ran nicely. They went 22-1, and then they slowed it down a little bit the second quarter there in 45. But all right, we have Golden Gate race
10 minutes.
Yeah, so that'll be our last race of the day. Let's talk. So one more stakes preview, right? We will look at
Yeah.
Churchill race 10.
We have that other race at Del Mar too.
Oh,
Can I
okay.
do a quick on my favorite horse here? So race 8 at Del Mar.
Oh, you're right. We do. Good call. Hold on. We didn't. Yes. So we only got one Del Mar stakes in.
Yep.
Hold on. I got to get to tomorrow. All right, so race 8, another non-graded stakes for state bred, the Cary Grant Stakes. Tell me about the Chosen Brawn.
I mean, we've singled the Chosen Vron a bunch of times. If you open up his Handy View Plus, you'll see that this is a consistent, good horse. Won for the first time on turf last time out, can sprint, can route. Grade 3 winner against Open Company, state bred winner, Open Stakes class winner as well. Beat the 4 last time out head to head on the 17th. I'm sorry, not last time out, but 2 back. And was able to, the 4 on paper has a huge pace advantage, but was able to sit close to the 4 and just go by when it was time to go by. I think history repeats itself here. I think the 5 is just the better horse. What I always say, don't get emotionally attached to the horses, pay attention to the data. The data says the 4, and I'm doing the opposite and going with the 5 here.
Yeah, I think the 4 or 5 win. The only Phineas the 1. I mean, I think this horse is probably going to hit the board. Would be my only comment. I think will run well. I don't think can win, but I do think this horse could improve. I mean, it's getting back to dirt, so just toss the turf race. I think here, tough break, stumbled, had 0 shot. But when you go back here, I mean, Phineas has run well at times. So, but this horse has had a lot of trouble. Vasquez does get aboard though, for Peter Miller. So, but I think it's between the 4 and 5. To your point, the 4 is going to have a big pace. I think the Chosen Vaughn will probably sit somewhat close, like to your point here. I mean, sat back here in that stakes race at Los Al right on the 17th of September and ended up winning. I guess it's just going to depend on, from a Los Al to a Del Mar, what kind of happens. My the 4 has run at 7 furlongs and ran well. The 5 ran in a grade 2, so I do think it's a 2-horse race though.
Yeah. And the 6 just seems like is in bad form, not in great form, and got the Chosen Vron on less than the preferred surface and still couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
Beat him.
Yeah. I'm with you. I don't. I think either one can win. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 4 turn the tables. I wouldn't be surprised to see Chosen Brawn win again. The 4 definitely, metric wise, has the big advantage. But and then again, I think the 1 will run well for vertical bets. I do not think can win, but I would not be surprised to see the runs, the 1, get third, or I don't know if could get second, but could come 4-5-1, 5-4-1, either way. So,
and my note on this race says 2-horse race.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And it just says Chosen Vron needs to stay close enough to pace, otherwise Big City Lights will get away.
Yep. I think that's going to have to be the same as the last time, right? I mean, I think here, and I didn't watch that race on the 17th, says stumbled. So I'd be curious to see. Still got a very easy lead, but, in Los Al, that's going 2 churns, right, at 8 furlongs, and so that
Think
is
so.
a different course. So I think the only thing I would say there is this gets back to Del Mar and 7 furlongs. For me, I'd probably, lean towards Big City Lights turning the table just because I think Los Al can play a little bit different with those tight churns going 2 churns. But I would not be surprised to see the 5 win again.
Yeah. And note that the 4 has had start trouble the last 3 races.
Yeah, still won except for that last race. But yeah,
Classy
no,
horse, absolutely.
All right, we have Golden Gate. We are both live. You are 1. I'm 1, 2, 4. You're 1 through 4 again.
Yep.
We will jump. Why don't we watch that, Oldie, and then we'll close it out with the stakes preview at Churchill, if that makes sense.
That works for me. I'm pulling that up right now.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. It was a good day. Not necessarily a winning day, other than Golden Gate can maybe close out the day well. But it was fun to hang with everybody. I hope everybody has a good weekend. I have basketball starting up with my kids.
Yeah.
So we'll start to get busy on Saturdays, but at least it's not raining in Seattle. A lot of times in the fall, we get more rain than normal, but it's beautiful, but it's like 45, 50 degrees and sunny.
And my daughter started competition season for cheerleading. Both her teams won last week, and they already got their bid for the summit in Orlando, so we're not bid chasing this year, which is nice because you end up all over the place and taking on last minute competitions when you're bid chasing. But also I can plan for the expense of, if her world's team also qualifies, could be 10 days in Disney or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That's awesome. All right. I'm 1, 2, 4. I have no 3. No. 1, 2,
2,
4.
4.
Yes. I'm EquinEdge picks. I just tossed the 3 horse with Evan Ramon. I think that, I don't know how this horse is going to get the lead. And then, I think 4 could come off the speed. I do. We talked about the 2 Arcadian Way. I think is very sneaky here, getting absolutely 0 love on the live betting. Was the longest shot on the board.
Yep.
Still is the longest shot on the board. I would not be surprised to see this horse run, even though it has not shown that he or she, is this a filly?
It's a filly. There's a horse named Perfect Julie in the race.
Yeah, so she, I know, has not shown that she can necessarily run, but Blaine Wright's a good trainer here and drops back in class after running in just way tougher allowance races, gets a starter allowance race that is a huge class kind of advantage. See if she can rate. I'm curious. I would not be surprised. He's a good trainer. So Morning Line likes this horse. It all of a sudden is taking a bunch of money. So, but I think that you could run. We'll see though.
I'm worried a little bit about the 5, that I don't have the 5 there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pace here.
For sure. We'll need a pace setup. Back to 6 furlongs as the Tamayo horse as well. Anton Georgi jumped from the 4 to the 5, or jumped from the 5 to the 4. But yeah, I mean, either the 4 or 5 could show up and come off the pace for sure. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's going to be about whoever gets the better trip, I think, between those 2 horses, unless one of the speed horses gets away.
All right, loading. I'll flip it over to Mr. Dinnerman, and then we will close it out with the stakes preview at Churchill in the grade 3 tomorrow. It was a pleasure, all. We will be back here in a minute. Somebody not wanting to load. Oh, maybe they're just getting ready. 2's loading.
The Arcadian Way, the first one to load in. Miss Bella, her stablemate next. Mary Margaret, post 4. Lady in a Hurry. Perfectly Julie, second to last. Uncaged Kitty to round out the field. We're ready to go. And we're off. Mary Margaret, per usual, off a step slowly, takes her customary spot at the back of the pack. Uncaged Kitty has a lot of early speed. The Arcadian Way also there, and those two matching their motors down the backside. Uncaged Kitty with a head in
Your
front.
2 did not, right?
Play to the outside on a hold. She's quick, but Uncaged
Yeah.
Kitty is an arrow leader with a half mile to
The
go.
3's
Bella
gonna
running
try
in
to
the third
stalk
position.
here.
Perfectly Julie right off of her. Mary Margaret up into the 5th
I'll
spot.
be
She
curious
passed
here
her
on the 2,
stablemate
though.
Lady in a
I
Hurry
still think,
as
you
they hit the
know,
four-turn run.
the
Still
1,
a
though,
fast
is
pace here
running
set
really
by
nice.
Uncaged Kitty, who leads the way around the far turn, 3/4 of a length ahead. The Arcadian Way trying to get out a little bit in that second position. Gets a tap on the shoulder.
3's
to straighten
getting,
up.
like,
Third,
perfect
Miss Bella
trip.
creeping in on
3's
the
got
top
horse.
there. Mary Margaret getting into the race. She's 4th, swings into action on the far outside. Lady in a Hurry is following her down the stretch. Uncaged
4's
Kitty in
flying,
front.
man.
Mary Margaret is coming like a rocket on the outside. Lady in a
Here
Hurry
comes the
farther out.
5.
Uncaged Kitty getting tired. Mary Margaret, Lady in a Hurry.
The
in a
5
big
gonna
hurry,
beat
staying
us,
on
man.
strong, and Lady in a Hurry and Mary Margaret.
Maybe not.
dominates the
No, the
divide,
5
and
won.
Lady in a Hurry gets
Just what
there.
we were afraid, what we talked about right before the race.
Yeah, that's a bummer. All right. Close it out at Churchill. We have the grade 3 tomorrow, 5:35 Eastern, 2:35 Pacific. Is this the Chaluki Stakes? Is that how you pronounce it?
I was going to ask you the same question.
Yeah, I'm
That,
guessing it's called the Chaluki, would be my guess.
All right, the Chaluki.
I thought this race was like super wide open. I don't know what your thoughts were,
I
but I
didn't.
thought this was a competitive grade 3. Go ahead.
I thought this came up really chalky. I thought the 2 and 1 are, sitting really well in this race. I think the 2 top win percentage, top EE pick, top GSR, those combos win at almost 50%. Also top EE morning line and second off the layoff. The 1 is the morning line favorite, second win, second EE pick. 2 or 1 matching top 2 factors wins at 66% of the time. Cox horse as well. The data is pointing that it's going to be one of these 2 horses. I can give you a scenario where somebody else wins, but there's nobody I really like in this spot. The options are something like the 3, the long shot going gate to wire. I don't like Paul Lubo horses though in these situations, so for me that's like using a Kenny McPeak horse or a Dale Romans horse in one of these graded stakes races. I'll pass. And then the other one that was sort of interesting to me was the 6, who's a turf horse, but the GSR indicates should be fine on the dirt. Chris Block, president of the Illinois Horsemen's Association, longtime Arlington trainer, had a pretty good year last year. 5-2 morning line, second choice, but just not sure that this horse is going to be able to get the trip and win here.
Yeah, my I thought this was tough, so I'll be curious. I on the 1 morning line does not like Coach. I have no idea why. but really does not. You know, my only thought, you know, this is how I kind of, as I broke down this race, 3 going to be on the lead is the EquinEdge long shot. The 1, you know, going to sit off the lead has shown back here, I guess at 8.5. This horse has been going 2 turns though. In addition, you know, you look at this horse when it does not run with Lasix here, it is not the same horse, like at all. You know, these are some lot tougher races, but even here in 70 and 74, without Lasix, did not run 17 and 32% to win, and then you know gets versus easier with Lasix and is winning, but then doesn't win either of these last 2 races. Gets to, you know, 8 furlongs. You know, the only time this horse has ran 8 furlongs, both times were at Oaklawn Park, which is going to be 2 turns versus a 1 turn mile here. I think that that's going to create the biggest confusion in this race is the 1 turn mile. So I don't love the 1 because the morning line doesn't like it. This horse has not run well at this level really without Lasix. The 2, you know, is, you know, Bauer Garcia has been running with Lasix all along. So it's going to drop Lasix here. I don't know though. I think this horse can win. You know, it is its first time going 8 furlongs, but has been sprinting at 6 and 7. I think has to improve though in Mariah's Princess. I really do. But and again, dropping integrated stakes for the first time. So I think the 2 is interesting. I'm not a big fan of the 1 though. The 3, I mean, I'm similar as you. I don't love this horse for Paulo Lobo. You know, here is just completely way too tough and stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, can she go gate to wire here as a 5-year-old? I don't know. I don't like it. I actually, you know, as you think about this, I would guess, I would not be surprised that we see a little more pace. I mean, the 1 with Ricardo on the rail, you know, it's you know, first time going 1 turn like this, I think is going to have to show speed. With the 3 a little bit, I don't expect the 3 to get easy lead. I think that the 2 has shown she can stalk, she can rate, she's lightly raced. I think the 2 could be tough. The 2 horses that I found the most interesting were the horses that would be coming off the lead. You know, probably as much as the 2. Liberty MD has Julian Leperoux riding, is getting to 8 furlongs. I don't know when that race was, but obviously ran well. And Liberty MD has run really well at Churchill Downs. It is the 1 track that you know, horses that run well at, I feel like continually run well. You do have Julian, who's continually been riding, did not run here at all at Keeneland. So, you know, what kind of happened here? It was only 6 furlongs, should have been okay, but was a 76. I don't know. I did not watch the race, but didn't break well, it looks like. So maybe just didn't break, got hung wide or something. But I think that the 7 could run well. I mean, my play though, you know, looking at the morning line here, the 2 is the favorite. I like Ice Orchard for Tyler Gaffleone. You know, this horse is really going to have to improve is the big question here. But, you know, won a maiden special at Oaklawn in a 54, ran second here in a 78 going 2 churns. Gaffleone, you're not going to find a better rider at in Kentucky right now, I would say. He's riding great, had a great Breeders' Cup. Is 0 for 6, though, for John Ortiz.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised to see a little more pace here. I think Gaffleone will keep this horse close. Ricardo's been riding, so, you know, is lightly raced. I mean, again, this horse will really, really have to improve, but did run in a grade 3 here, right? And ran, you know, a respectable second in only a 6 horse field. So I think the 4 is interesting. I think the 7 is interesting, but I would probably put you know, any of those or the 2 on top. I think any of them can win, to be honest. I think my long shot would be the 4. I think the 7 will run good, but I think the 2 could be tough.
Yeah, so I want to point out a couple things on, first of all, on the one. I think the one matured from the time it ran in the Kentucky Oaks to when it started running again in December.
Mhm.
And I think there was a significant improvement there. And, I think that potentially also getting to a dry track might help here, and it's second off the layoff. And
Yeah.
the class, it's the class of the field in terms of what it's faced. I also think on your 4, and this is why I didn't like the 4 at all. The 4 came off that honeybee, and I think something happened there, because look at how the horse is breaking since then.
Yeah, very slow.
It took,
Yeah.
I mean, they gave the horse a break, and ever since it hasn't been able to break.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. I mean, good point too on the track. I mean, the one has been on sloppy tracks other than here and indefinitely, uh, you know, ran nicely here too in a 76. So good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I don't, it's a good point on the 4. I didn't actually catch that in the last 2 races, but had run well, but not breaking at all. Although it didn't break awful here. I mean, broke awful, but
Yeah.
it may have not have been all that slow. It's just a tad slow. So yeah.
Yeah, no, and that's my thoughts on that. I think the 6 is the one horse that I talked about that we didn't talk all that much about, that I think could, I don't think he goes off at 5-2 there with the 1 and the 2 there. I think you're looking at more of the like 5-1 on this horse, maybe 6-1 where the morning line is. But I think this horse can run on dirt and could be dangerous. And, if there is a lot of speed, could sit right behind it and pounce.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say on the 6, as we close it out is, you know, why go to the dirt now? Like, I mean, it's just so strange. I mean, this horse ran a bunch on the dirt though, and then they
Yeah.
decided, okay, I mean, and I'd have to look at the PPs, but like, then it's like, okay, we're gonna just run on the turf, and then all of a sudden they want to run on the dirt is like, what? Like, and then dropping in a grade 3, but ran really good at Kentucky Downs. So
Yeah.
maybe this horse is in great form.
And also a slow breaker at times too. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind. Also, somebody asked about why is, that Flo's not riding for Cox here, but Flo is riding at Fairgrounds right now, or, and I believe has some state bred stakes mounts at Fairgrounds on Saturday.
Yeah, and why Jonathan Wong? I have no idea, Scott, other than I think he's probably picking up some horses, right? And starting to, travel a little bit. He's done
Mhm.
so well at Golden Gate, and just he's been able to probably pick up some nicer horses and get some horses in some graded stakes outside California would be my only thought. So
Yeah, I agree.
all right, y'all. Was a pleasure,
All
Oldy. Another week down. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Have a good weekend. Good luck. Lots of great stakes racing this weekend. Tracks starting to open up. You mentioned Fairgrounds.
Yep.
Others will be coming. It was a pleasure. We'll see you all next Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific. Have a good weekend.
Lots of fun. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Justin.